frequently hear requests to please like and subscribe. Well, here at Disrupt Media, we aren't going to play that game. Those demands are frankly outdated. So we just want you to hit like or subscribe. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. Pick a path, hit like, or hit subscribe. It's your call. We don't care which, just pick one. Or go to Roll Tide Pods and do it. Or War Damn Pods. Or the Disrupt Media YouTube channel. Or the Meltdown. Just make a decision and stick with it. Like or subscribe, the choice is yours.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Maybe you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or TikTok. While we're changing the game yet again, Tyler's Telegrams has been developed exclusively for you.
Hi, this is the lovable boy you know as Tyler the Intern. I'm a businessman now. I will come directly to your door and tell you every time a new piece of TNR content drops. For the low, low price of $740,000, you can be notified by me, one of the biggest stars of the Next Round, about that thing you missed. Sure, the rest of those social media services are free, but so is radio, and we all know how well that's trending.
Tyler's Telegrams is currently operating exclusively in Bibb County. Other social media platforms are available everywhere.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live will share the latest interviews and videos from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and campuses all over the college landscape. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Live Daily Show. Jim, Lance, and Ryan will share their thoughts, and remember, you can always see the old shows on the Next Round Live YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, and don't forget to comment. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. It's Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
You've been wearing that thin, raggedy t-shirt for years now, and people cannot stop whispering and staring in your vicinity. We've all been there. Luckily, there's a solution to your lack of fashion and social cues. At nextround.store, they have plenty of options when it comes to a variety of shirts and hats. Once you start putting that Next Round gear on, be prepared to make new lifelong friends and hundreds of unforgettable conversations. Hope you like random high fives in the street, because that's what you're getting after visiting nextround.store.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with the TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
Call the Next Round now at 205-734-0923. Take the Next Round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Let's go voice check around the room after our celebration kickoff party last night. Mine's a little sore talking over the crowd last night. Yours?
Yeah, so that's what typically happens, you know.
Yes, actually. Yes.
Yeah. No. So, back in the day, like whether you be at a club or live music, you have to talk so loud to have a conversation, it just wears that voice out.
Yeah. E.G. and I were actually talking last night.
Walk-ons was loud last night.
And she was like, I am losing my voice. And I said, me too. And we were trying to figure out, technically we weren't using our diaphragms. It was all in our throat. By the end of the night, before she left, she was like, I can't even talk anymore.
I know. No, I caught myself.
Wouldn't it be better if everybody could sign?
It would be. It'd be so quiet in there. I caught myself probably halfway through the night realizing I'm yelling in every conversation because I have to. It is so loud in here. There's so many people in here. And realized I am not going to have a great voice tomorrow. Not that I ever have a great one, but it's going to be worse than even normal.
Rockstar is an important one because he's got the Floribama Lounge later on. Rockstar, voice check with you.
I'm good.
On the helium IC. Back row, let's go Lunceford first. Lunceford, voice check. How are you, man?
I don't like talking to people, so I'm okay.
The honesty from Lunceford. I like the honest evaluation there.
How about happy birthday to Lunceford's mom last night?
Right.
We had she was like, thank you for throwing me this party. It was so nice. Forrester, you got a voice?
Yeah, but I actually had to grab a milkshake after it last night because
my
throat
had
was
to.
had to.
The old medicinal milkshake.
Throat was on fire, man.
Yeah.
I think Scotty is the only person I didn't talk to last night.
Oh, wow. Sorry, Scott.
Well, we just never really crossed paths.
Sweet hoodie.
I spent. Oh, y'all got the same hoodies on from Roback?
Yeah. How about that? Code TNR 20 to look like Scott and Lance today.
TNR 20. Tyler, grab a microphone. Let's hear that. Tyler was running the merch shop, and he was running. Everybody had a job. Everybody did a great job. But Tyler, every time I turned around, man, it looked like you were reaching for something behind the counter. How's your voice?
Oh, mine's better than last year. The name tag and T-shirt station is what's really rough.
Yes. That was EG's. You're right.
For your service.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, that's where Rockstar and EG were last night. Well, thank you to Matt, Ronnie, the entire walk-on staff at Stadium Trace. They do such a wonderful job every day. And for the fourth year at different locations, they roll out the red carpet for us and basically let us take over their business. And what more can you say than thank you for something like that?
Matt told me they were down 5,000 going into the party as far as the number one location in America.
That's right.
And they ended up being the number one location in America.
We do it every year. You guys do it every year. The reason we bring this up is a testament to our audience and how faithful you guys are. And I hope you know how much we appreciate that. That every year, the walk-ons where we've done the party is the number one walk-ons in the nation that night. And the funny thing about that, I brought it up on the show yesterday. You didn't believe me. You texted Matt. He confirmed it. But when I got there, Matt was like, hey, I just want to warn you, it's going to be tough this year because the Trussville store, which, by the way, that's their newest location, it is number one in the nation every night. Every night. Trussville's number one in the nation. And he's like, not only is that always number one in the nation, we also had a massive catering order go out from there today for a huge event in Trussville. And he said, so we're battling an uphill climb. And Ronnie, the manager,
he's like,
he was setting expectations.
But he's like a multi-businessman. He's like, we're chasing number one.
That's right.
I own number one too. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he said point blank, he's like, I don't care if y'all are number two because I'll have number one and number two, but I just want you to know, since you talked about it, this may be tough tonight because of that massive catering.
Well, even when the crowd started to weed out a little bit, I was just sipping beer here and there. We were taking a lot of pictures, things like that. And then you had the diehards, and they wanted to start doing shots. And that's when you can see cash register really start rolling.
Well, Ronnie, the manager, came over. Matt had left, and Ronnie, the manager, came over and said, hey, Matt wanted to make sure I found you and told you we hit number one.
We hit number one.
So that is awesome. Thank you guys for supporting.
Can we give, I doubt he wants us to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway.
What, a revenue number?
No, but one of the reasons we hit number one is when I got there, we were figuring out, okay, we've got a tab for clients, we've got a tab for our employees. And Matt told me, he was like, hey, Nick Johnston called me yesterday, wouldn't let me tell you until right now, but Johnston RV is running you guys a tab. And it was a Massive tab.
I cannot imagine Nick doing. I can't imagine Nick doing
But
it.
he's moving his son in, by the way, to college.
The level of thought that it took. Would you have thought to do something like that? I would never have thought to do something like that. Like, he's moving his son into college. That is stressful in its own right. For him to know the date of our party, and for him to think ahead enough to call walk-ons and say, "Hey, I want to run a tab for these guys," blows me away.
Well, I thought it was an amazing just gesture for him to reach out to me 2 days ago and say, "Hey, look, we're moving Jason. It is stressful. Me and my wife, we're going to be down at the coast. We're going to be doing this. We hate we're going to miss the party." And I was like, damn, you didn't have to reach out to tell me that, but we're going to miss you. Yeah. And then for him to run that tab and to actually orchestrate it behind the scenes with Matt was pretty incredible.
That's just incredible. Nick Johnston RV.
I texted you this morning. I was like, I missed Nick last night. I was doing, so many people there. You don't know who you don't get to see, and you're like, he didn't make it. And I didn't know why. So I'm glad I know why he wasn't there, and what a great gesture to throw that out. You see the pictures bouncing around in the commercial breaks, and Forrester just ran through some of those from last night. Crowd was there early again, like always. We appreciate you so much. Lined up when we started handing out the T-shirts at 5, and just had a blast talking football with everybody and about the show as we start year number 4 today. So we've done 3 full years of this, and we start year number 4 today. Pretty cool as we get rolling.
It is. I'm blown away at what has happened in the first 3 years, and cannot wait to see what happens in the next fill in the blank years. I don't know what that number is right now.
I don't know.
I'll start with year 4.
I will tell you, the only time I've ever been nervous on this set was that first day, because I really didn't know what to expect, and we were a little rusty. We hadn't done it in a couple of months.
Yeah, we did not. We had not done a show in a while, and we had only done a basically 1 hour run through in this studio. This was thrown together in 2 weeks, so to even have a studio was remarkable. But
I didn't think it was 1 hour, Brown. I think we got it working for about 20 minutes.
Yeah, it got finished in time for us to do a Sunday afternoon run through and say, all right, I hope it works Monday. And somehow it did. Josh Bone, Max Connect, he is our engineering firm here in town, did incredible work just to get us on. And has done even more incredible work to keep us on. So we appreciate Josh and his staff doing that. It's just it's a team effort,
man. Those 3 years went quick, though.
Yeah, boy, did they.
Lunceford's right. It was hot as 40 hills that Sunday when we were up here trying to get everything to work.
That's when we found out that maybe the AC doesn't run every day in this building.
Yeah, we kept wondering, Lunceford, didn't we? We kept wondering, like, I wonder if the heat's why the equipment's not working.
What do you think the temperature was?
Well, it was August. I mean, it was August 15th.
It was in the 80s, though, 100%.
It was a Sunday afternoon, August 15th, and I don't think the AC had kicked onto the building that day.
Yeah.
So we were like, holy crap, please don't tell me it's like this every afternoon.
Oh, well, heat index yesterday was 101, so I would imagine it was a lot like that.
Yeah, and like Lance said, inside it had to be 80 degrees. I remember sitting in this chair just drenched in sweat. Part of it was nerves, and part of it was roasting in here.
Do we have a picture of our new furniture in the lobby? Because I thought it was interesting. Tim Lunceford came up to me last night, and he's like,
that's John's dad.
He's the guy that made this, handmade, by the way.
Oh, my God.
And
Have you tried to lift it?
Oh, yeah, I tried.
Yeah.
Tried is the key word.
I'm
it took
sending
Melton
to
Lunceford and Mr. Lunceford to actually get that in. But Mr. Lunceford, when we were having the conversation, he was like, I knew you would hate it because you hate everything. And I'm like, I don't hate everything.
No, I was standing there when he said it. Let's like, wait a minute.
I said, I'm very selective.
Yeah.
But I told him the weight is so good on that, and it's so unique. It's a one of a kind. I love it.
Yeah, it's a one of one. It's a beautiful piece.
I'm sending. I just sent 2 pictures to Forrester really quickly. But I told Lunceford and Kelsey, they were out in the lobby, and I walked out there. I thought maybe it was like a portable set, first off, and they had been at Culver's down 280 the day before. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. Did y'all have that on location? And they both laughed at me. They were like, no. And I was like, oh, I thought maybe it was a set or something. And I went to lift it up, and I couldn't even lift it up. I mean, it's people laugh. It's real wood, but it's iron, steel, whatever it is. I mean, it's
metal.
I was joking with Marietta last night, John's mom. I was like, that thing is like if a tornado wiped out the Blue Lake Center, that thing would still be in one piece. That should be our safe place if a storm is coming.
One day, archaeologists 1,000 years from now will be digging around here and they'll find that piece and they'll be like, what was going on in this place?
One of the worst things
is that lightning bolt.
What did this culture do?
The lightning bolt with a D. They must have been a force.
So you guys remember, and we're way past this because we're way too old now, But back in your 20s, when a buddy would call you to have you help them move.
Yeah, you don't want to move that.
Like, yeah, if I walked in and that's the first piece, I'd be like, I'm out.
Yeah. It's a gorgeous piece, though. And to listen to Mr. Lunceford, Lance and I were standing there, and I don't know if you've heard the story, Jim, but he talked about how he did the first version, and he brought Lunceford's mom in. She looked at it, and she's like, no, it's got to be different. So he just went and undid everything he had done and then did it again, and then now we need this.
How would you not like that, Lance?
I do like
it.
Like it. But you know what's funny is I said, I'm guesstimating here. What is that thing? $3,000 to $3,500 if you were to retail it. And he said probably $4,500.
Yeah.
But he can do custom pieces.
No, absolutely.
And I was like, you guys need to make this a business. Now the problem is you need like 15 Tim Lunsfords.
Yeah, that took him. He said that took him a year.
Yeah,
that's
off and on.
I said, how long did he work on that? And she was like, a long time. And I was like, is it like therapy for him? Like he gets down and works on that? And she's like, oh, no. He stresses out about it, blah, 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 blah. And I said, God, it's just, so thankful that he did that. She was like, when I cook, that's sort of therapy for me. Like Tim will say, don't cook, tonight. And she's like, no, I need to cook. That's therapy. Everybody's got their little release,
Y'all's is golf, right?
Some people,
it is, absolutely.
Because I'm just outside. Some people think, some people like cutting grass or, doing lawn work is sort of their therapy. And I thought maybe that was what Mr. Lunceford does to get down there and just, sort of pound out life's frustrations or something. And she's like, no, it's work for him, but he does enjoy doing it for people. So what more can you say than thank you for that too? That's just amazing. All right, we're off and rolling. A lot more on the celebration on the 4 years and everything going on in sports. We got football news everywhere and all of that. Forrester, cutting grass is therapy for you? You like that?
I know people that say that.
Yeah. I used to love it when I had a yard.
I love cutting grass.
Wow. Do you?
Well, hey, I can put Rodrigo on the skids.
You travel?
Yes.
I haven't done a road show yet.
Yeah.
Do you stripe it, Scott? I mean, like are you anal about the stripes and all
a lot
that?
of work, man.
My Bermuda doesn't stripe that well.
Yeah, it is tough on Bermuda. You have to have a roller.
I used to love, and this is no joke, I used to love cutting the grass. What I hated doing, though, was trimming hedges, de-weeding flower beds, edging the driveway and sidewalks. I hated that part of it.
Weren't you one of those guys that cuts the grass with the shirt off?
I would occasionally, LT. Back when I had the body for it. Later this year, maybe. Who knows?
When does weight training start?
Tomorrow. Always tomorrow, Lance. Show being brought to you today by our great friends at Woodhouse Day Spa. If you ever run me up a tab anywhere, how about Woodhouse Day Spa? It'd be a good place to run me up a tab. You know how many beers I had last night?
None.
0.
Yeah. Wow, Jim.
0.
That's not surprising.
Little T bought me one, and
he poured it out.
I took one sip of it, but then I was talking to Brown's daughter. I think it was the first time she's ever engaged me and talked to me. Like last night, she was out of her shell. I mean, she was engaged. And you know how I engaged her? She had this great outfit on, and she and Emily Grace are really good friends. And I said, "Oh, I love your outfit. Did EG pick that out for you?" Because EG loves picking out clothes. And she's like, "No, I picked it out." And then it's almost like we became friends at that point. So I was holding that beer, and I was like, "This doesn't feel right." So I said it. Now
Jim's talking to. She would not have cared. Jim's talking about my youngest daughter. She's a 5th grader, and before she went to school today, she goes, "You know what Mr. Jim said to me last night?" I was like, "Oh boy."
Oh no.
I said, "What?" And she said, "Before I left, he said, 'Do you feel like our relationship grew closer tonight?'" She goes, "I don't know what he meant by that, Dad." Yeah. I was like, "It's just
He's
Mr.
just
Jim.
a weirdo.
It's just for Jim. You smile and walk away." Yes.
Speaking of EG, a place she does love, the Woodhouse Day Spa, located right there at Summit Shopping Centers, right off of Highway 280. Choose from a menu of over 70 options, including massages, body treatments, skincare, waxing, nail services. Woodhouse Day Spa, voted America's best day spa since 2009. You can order that special person gift online 24/7. Have it ready for football season. Hand it to her on a Friday night. Tell her, have a spa day on a Saturday. Then watch college football all day long. Birmingham.woodhousespas.com, or stop by, see Stewart and that great staff. Tell them the next round sent you.
I hated missing Bobby.
I talked to him a minute.
Oh, was Bobby there?
He was. He came in very, very late.
I have never met Bobby.
Well, man, I wish I'd have brought you. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've never met him.
He was in there with.
And I tried to jump around to different pods.
He got
and I
in
felt
late.
so weird because I went up to these guys, introduced myself, and I was like, "Boy, I hope y'all are here for the party."
Were they?
Yeah,
Yes.
both times.
Ooh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. most of like the area around the bar is us.
Yeah.
But occasionally people sneak in, and like sometimes I want. Most of the time when you're walking up, people will speak to you if they're there for the party. But sometimes I want to make sure I talk to everybody, and I'm like, God, I'm like, boy, I hope they're here for the party, or they're gonna, ask me for a drink order or something like that. They think I run the joint. Welcome to Walk-Ons.
You remember when we were setting up? What time was that, Brown? About 2:15, 2:30.
Yeah, we went out about 2:15. Had lunch out there. Yeah.
Remember there was one guy sitting at the end of the bar with what looked like his mom.
Was that his wife?
Oh, I don't know, but they were there when we were setting up.
Yeah.
And then when I came back and I was starting to walk around the bar area, I started talking to him and his buddy who were sitting there, and I looked at him and I was like, "Were you not sitting in this chair like at 2:15, 2:30 this afternoon?" He's like, "Yeah, I came here for lunch and was just hanging out waiting for the party to start." Like, he got there at 2:15, 2:30.
Wow. All right, so he was number one then.
Yeah. I hope he got a T-shirt.
I do too.
We know he got a QR code from our friends at Budweiser, though. Right?
Yeah, let's hope at that point.
The QR code is really good. But thank you guys again for all coming. We'll talk some more about it as the day goes on, as we move forward. We got a lot to get to. But first, I got to go back to what may be my best prediction of all time. But you called it before I announced my final NFL playoff team. Before I said my 9th team, you said the Atlanta Falcons, and I dropped the Atlanta Falcons. This Falcons franchise, they got a 1-year deal yesterday with Justin Simmons, former Pro Bowl DB from the Broncos, $8 million 1-year deal. Just another piece on that side of the ball. I don't think anybody's worried about their offense. And now, back-to-back days, they go Judon in a trade, and now they get a guy with a little depth in the secondary. That's another good move from the Atlanta Falcons.
Well, I think when you added Kirk Cousins in the offseason, you knew the offense was going to be good, but the question mark really was on the defensive side of the ball. And now what the Falcons are showing you, and I had this conversation with a Falcon fan last night. Did you see the guy with the Falcons jersey on?
I did, yes.
I did.
Yeah.
I think I said to him, congratulations on the NFC South Division Championship.
I said, the good news is your franchise is all in. And not only all in at this moment, but also building for the future with the Penix pick. And everybody dogged that out, and it was a weird pick based on where they are right now. But I think this is all going to work out for the Falcons. Like winning championships, I'm not sure. But I think they're going to be relevant for a good 5 to 7 years.
Look, it's the NFL. All schedules are tough. So we don't do this as much in the NFL as we do in college. But with that said, have you looked at how they start the season with your pick here?
The schedule?
Yeah.
I don't do schedule. Brown, you're my schedule guy.
Well, I know.
And you weren't here that day to say, Jim, they start with 5 of the toughest 7 games in the
I'll just read them to you. Versus the Eagles. Versus the Steelers to start the season
That's
at home.
in Pitt. Oh, I thought that was in Pitt. Okay.
No, that's at home.
Okay.
At the Eagles, Monday Night Football, Week 2.
Oh, that's tough.
That is tough. A little team we like to call the Kansas City Chiefs coming in for Sunday Night Football, Week 3.
Oh, crap. So they got the AFC West?
And then they jump into division play, which I think they're the best team in that division, but they host Saints, host Bucks, at Panthers.
Yeah, they're going to go on a run after that. I still think they start 2-1. I think they beat the Steelers and they'll split with the Eagles and Chiefs.
Yeah. Now, the good news for you is if they're needing wins.
Not for me. I'm a Buccaneer fan.
Well, that's true. But for your pick, the backside of the schedule is a little more forgiving for them. But still, they've got Cowboys. They've got to play the Chargers. If Bo Nix is any good, they're at the Broncos. But the start of that schedule is pretty brutal. Like if I told you Steelers at Eagles, Chiefs, they start 0-3. Are you going to be stunned by that?
I would not be stunned, but I'll tell you right now, the Chiefs, that NBC primetime game will be a 3-point favorite, and everybody and their mother will be on the Chiefs.
So Chiefs in Atlanta, a 3-point favorite on Sunday night.
Yep.
And when you say everybody and their mother is going to be on the Chiefs,
90% of the money, 90% of the bets.
You're saying the Falcons probably win that game.
Yeah, the Falcons will win that game. Okay. There you go, Scott.
There you go, Scott. Y'all are beating the Chiefs for Week 3.
Yeah. Wow. We don't play Atlanta. Yeah, in Atlanta championship weekend.
Yeah, it seemed like a SEC championship. You always could stay for the Bucks if you wanted to.
Always December. It seemed like this year it is in Atlanta Week 5, Thursday night football though. That's a do the show drive over to Atlanta for us or you and me. What do you think?
You take separate car.
We're both happily married. I'm just saying.
2 dudes going to a game.
Yeah. I didn't do any awkward stuff last night, so I'm just trying to get it out this morning.
So you and Scott, are you not in for this? A Thursday night game?
It's going to depend on what the girls have going on, but if there's nothing, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, I'm surprised you don't do more of the Saints Tampa games on the road. Like when the Rams were in division, I did not miss those Falcons Saints games.
I did not go last year, but the 2 years before that. Was there 2 years before the pandemic?
They play every year.
Yeah, I've gone to the Atlanta games twice. I saw Brady's last year, and
Atlanta's just too easy of a trip. New Orleans is a little effort now without the flight.
No, Brady's last year was the last time I went.
I just hope you guys know you don't know that. Well, you do know it, but you don't get it anymore. How fortunate you are that your team gets anywhere close to here. Like, I have to wait for Miami to play the Falcons or the Titans, and they're playing the Titans again this year, and again it's in Miami. It's a Monday night game. Last year they played them in Miami, so. You know, I have to wait for the Dolphins to come to the Falcons or Titans. Yeah, and it's forever.
The Rams strangely play in New Orleans a lot.
Yeah,
you know, and including this year, and I will do everything I can to make that game.
Yeah, it's tough though. I mean, you get like one shot every 3 or 4 years if you don't cheer for a team that's in in a division around.
The problem is this year it's rivalry weekend.
Ooh,
yeah.
G. Kerbo, who was in town and then back to Montgomery last night, he says, I'll go with you, Jim, to a Bucs game. I'm a huge Baker fan.
Oh, there you go. You got company.
Everybody's ready to bake this year with Tampa Bay.
Chris, Saints also own the Rams. I just remember the last time we had a meaningful game, an NFC Championship game in the Superdome. Greg Zuerlein, little 57-yard field goal.
Was that controversial? Lance, was that
controversial? I don't know. They only changed the rule for 1 year.
Lunceford says that his wife, Laurel, wants to go to the Chiefs and Falcons game. Is that your team now, Lunceford? Are you Chiefs guy this year?
No, that's Taylor Swift.
I do not care about anything with the NFL.
Yeah, that's Taylor Swift.
If she wants to go to the game, I will go to a Falcons game.
Are you going to wear you say you're going to wear the Rob Lowe NFL hat, right?
100%.
Yeah.
I like that. It's Laurel's a huge Taylor Swift fan like me, right?
Yes.
Maybe I should be going to the Chiefs game.
I do.
With all the girls.
Our friends at Budweiser, if you want to borrow it, or you can actually have it, it's a light blue, just Rob Lowe NFL hat.
Well, I saw that. I think it's in that box over there, Lunceford, if you want to see if it fits your head.
That's my new hat.
Yeah. There you go.
I'm so confused because Lunceford was all in on the Titans a couple of years ago. I thought you were all in on the 49ers, and then I thought you were all in on the Chiefs.
What happened to the Titans? Update everybody on that.
Oh, I dropped the Titans a couple of years ago because they're the worst franchise in the history of mankind.
So I wonder if Will Levis wins the MVP this year.
Good for him.
I thought
he loves eating mayonnaise and doing whatever weird crap he does.
I thought it was Derrick Henry related. It was Derrick Henry related?
Well, no. I mean, Derrick Henry's the only reason I stayed as long as I did.
Oh, okay.
And then now that he's gone, especially, I don't care.
You're a fickle fan, man.
I mean, look, I got into it with Steve McNair, Eddie George, loved watching the Super Bowl that they should have beaten your team, and it kind of fell apart after that. Vince Young was an awful draft pick.
So what were you doing when Mike Shula took over at Bama?
Look, my whole family went to Alabama. I went to Alabama. I was there during some of Shula's time, so I have a reason to continue to be an Alabama fan for all of my life.
Hey, by the way, the get-in for that Falcons Chiefs game is only $140. That's cheap. That's much cheaper than I would have thought for a get-in.
I would grab that now.
Yeah,
especially if the Falcons, if they open 2-0, if they beat the Steelers and the Eagles.
Yeah. I'm going to guess the Swifties haven't looked ahead at the schedule to see, that they're playing the Falcons. That'll be like 2 weeks before.
Well, my Swiftie has.
Yeah, well, I know she has. Yeah.
Well, her concert, has that been going on 2 years now? Her concert is still going on.
I mean, that's the normal touring now, is it not, Rocky? It's 2 years.
Well, yeah, but she's doing every weekend, is she not? Like, she's not doing this thing where you're going.
Well, she needs the money.
She's doing like 8 consecutive dates.
It's like Willie Nelson when he owed the government. He was doing Taco Bell commercials.
She's desperate. Taylor needs money. Bad.
But she's about to wrap up London, and then she's coming back to the States to keep it going, right?
Oh, good. Yeah.
Speaking of which, EG is heading to London today,
that
right?
is correct.
She flies out
to go see Taylor Swift.
It's a cheaper concert.
I think she flies out at 4-ish Eastern time. 3 o'clock here, 1 o'clock on the West Coast.
Uh-huh.
And by the way, that has nothing to do with the way we pay employees. And nothing to do.
Yeah, don't want to get any bright ideas.
EG's old man sells a lot of socks.
She's on her way to London, and she's going to see Taylor Swift at Wembley. I think this is the one that's at Wembley, right? They were at the other
O2.
At the O2 the first time around.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that would be incredible.
I know. That's a historic concert venue.
What is I remember Wembley Stadium, was it Live Aid? That was there? Yeah, that was the first time I'd ever heard of Wembley Stadium as a kid.
It was the Freddie Mercury absolutely took it over.
Yeah, Live Aid.
And the whole crowd.
And then I was like, oh, Wembley Stadium, that's their Legion Field.
Yeah. And, like Rolling Stones.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the iconic concerts there. So we'll see. All right. Off and rolling here. Show brought to you by our friends at Odie's. Are you performing there this weekend? You were there last weekend.
Boiling and bragging. So
that's
right.
Boiling and bragging.
We will. I'm glad you reminded me. Kind of forgot that for a second. We will be out there tomorrow night, right around the vicinity of Odie's. They will have a live band after Bowling and Bragging, but come out. Some of the teams, Rockstar, they told us yesterday. I know you've been working on the fight songs.
we got Missouri, Georgia, Mississippi State, Alabama, Auburn, Kentucky, LSU, Georgia.
So you sing some of the fight songs?
Oh yeah. No, I just do the.
He does it on the Casio keyboard. It's pretty incredible.
No, I don't sing the fight song.
No, he plays
I
them.
have a playlist of stuff.
Yeah, so we'll get up there and we'll be like,
you play an audio tape version.
audio tape. Yeah.
I don't even know what the Missouri fight song sounds like.
I don't either.
Have you
I don't
pulled
think
it down
Missouri
yet?
fans know it.
I can't play it.
I know, but
legitimately, there will be a Missouri tent set up. People will be dressed in gear.
Yeah.
There will be Big Al will be out there. Blaze will be out there. Abby will be out there. So, bring the kids. It's a great family thing. And then if you want to hang out and have cocktails and listen to live music, it's for an incredible cause, the transport for Children's Hospital. But come out and join us. Will Haver, big supporter of this event at Odie's. Enjoy some food at Odie's as well.
How about Hal 5150? My band, About Time, playing Odie's on Saturday.
Oh, cool.
Well, there you go.
I kind of like the name for a band, About Time.
About Time.
It's got dual meaning.
When are you guys getting on stage? About time.
About time.
We will be on stage. Rockstar will do the national anthem. We always try to time it with the flyover. We never get it right.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to plan.
Most awkward moment at Bowling and Bragging in our 11 years.
You're a Nebraska fan?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
What was that?
Well, I mean, look, you try to get the crowd involved, and I was trying to tell a joke, and I was talking about how irrelevant Nebraska was, and this lady came up and undressed me.
What do you know?
And I said, see you next Tuesday. And then she really, I didn't. I took my beating.
How would she feel now to know we're personal friends with the head coach?
I know, and I'm pulling for him now.
Yeah.
Did she have a T-shirt on that said "shuck"?
No, I just
that's pretty good. I like that.
I did a Dunaway passive aggressive. I was like, I've always heard you guys are the nicest fans.
Clearly.
Yeah, I heard wrong. All right, college football when we come back. Todd Fuhrman at 10 Central Time, Floribama Lounge.
Hey, by the way, our man Goose.
Yes.
That dude is massive.
6'9"? You think 6'9"?
I don't know, like Dalton Connect, maybe. I mean, if you told me he was a 3 in the NBA, I'd be like, okay. Well, you'd have to shave the beard probably. But, dude, that guy is massive.
But I asked him, I said, I think I joked, I forget, maybe it was Forrester or somebody was standing beside me, and I was like, if we ever start a listener basketball team, this is one of our first picks. He goes, I suck at basketball.
That's amazing.
It's hard to believe.
That size, because he's cut up. There's Goose to the far left.
I have to point him out.
Look. Taylor was taking that picture, and she's like, Jim, scoot over. You're blocking Goose.
The problem with being Goose's size is there's always that one or two guys in the bar that just want to challenge you.
That's right. Yeah, see if they can find a big
And
dude.
I bet poor Goose has had to deal with that all his life.
You think Goose got a little Riley Green in him?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, I was watching a video this morning on TikTok. Riley Green was CMT did a tribute for the supergroup Alabama. Because of 50
when does that
years. It aired last night, but I'm sure on CMT you can find it on demand. I do want to go back and watch it. And they brought in a lot of country music stars to sing their songs, and Riley Green sang Dixieland Delight.
Yep.
And he gets to the chorus.
Did he know the words?
He did know the word. The part I saw, I didn't see the whole song, but Riley knew the words. Dixieland Delight, and he gets to the chorus, and the alternate lyrics are being shouted by the crowd, and they don't ride the crowd volume down. I'm like, ooh, this guy. I'm assuming the audio engineer is aware of what's going on here. Yeah. And this was not live. I'm sure it was pre-recorded. And it's like you can hear the crowd, against the wall and all that. And it gets to that one part, he sings the lyric, and then it's just dead silence.
Yeah.
You don't hear anything at all. Well, yeah, they had to edit that part, didn't they? Little F-bomb for the crowd.
Hey, I've seen Little T sing it in public, too. Couldn't make it on CMT either.
I missed that, by the way. Did we ever post that with her and T-Bob?
I did not post the audio video, but I got the whole song.
Why did we not post it?
I didn't know if I recorded it for T. If she wants to post it, she can post it. I didn't want to
alternate lyrics from Little T.
Oh, as if Auburn has pulled the upset. It was the way it was sung right after the kick six.
Hey, so Richard says, LT, thanks for the drink suggestion to my wife. It was the Death Valley. Have you guys seen that? They basically
you
pour
can only
every
get
kind
two,
of
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a 2-drink limit, but it's in cup bigger than this.
Yeah, big plastic cup.
And it's got basically everything. And I was asking his wife what she was drinking, and it was like a raspberry lemonade. And I was like, you ought to try a Death Valley. And I was like, well, maybe not. I was like, it's got a lot of liquor. And she was like, we're on date night. Let's do it.
All
And so
right.
he came up to me after. He was like, this is going to work out for me. And he just said in the chat, it did work out for me.
This is going to work out for me. All right. That's segment one. A lot to do when we come back here on the show. Brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. From the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios. They've been with us for 4 years. As we go into year 4, 3 years as well. Had to point out a couple of folks last night who said, yeah, one day I'm going to come by and hang out with you guys at your studio at the Birmingham Racecourse. I was by there the other day and didn't have time to come see the studio. And I was like, they sponsor our studio. We are not located at the Birmingham Racecourse.
They'll be very confused if you go looking for us there.
If you start asking questions out there, they're not going to know where our studio is. But thank you for being with us. And remember, Roback, promo code TNR20 gets you 20% off, roback.com. We're back in a moment.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at jimdunaway.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Let's face it, a home is one of the most powerful assets you can have, and our friends at Mortgage Right want to help you build wealth through home ownership. Mortgage Right is all about providing competitive rates, a variety of loan products, and a multitude of resources for a seamless home buying experience. They treat their borrowers like family and are always looking to bring more happy homeowners under their roof. See more by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR today and start living. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, equal housing lender.
Buying that perfect home is one of the most important financial decisions you'll ever make, so it's crucial that you have the right partner to help you through the process. Hi, I'm Lisa Zeig, Vice President Mortgage Loan Officer for Bryant Bank, and I'm here to tell you that we are that partner, making it easy to buy with confidence. We offer a variety of mortgage products to fit your unique home buying situation. That kind of hassle-free approach might not be what you'd expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give me a call today or visit one of our 18 offices across the state of Alabama and let me show you what banking beyond expectation is all about.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by, ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
By the way, Pritch Law had a, God, I forgot it. You just mentioned Pritch Law on the commercial break. He was there last night, and he had a good bygone era thought from the other day, but I cannot remember what it was.
I cannot. Somebody said it in the chat room earlier. Are you talking about things we missed from college football?
Yeah.
Somebody said it in the chat room earlier, and someone has since tweeted it this morning about Leonard's Losers. I had 3 or 4 people at the party last night say, y'all are talking about Leonard's Losers, man. I love that when I was a kid. It's amazing when we bring that up, how many people talk about Leonard's Losers.
I wonder what station aired that here in Birmingham.
Because, I don't know.
Because we didn't have sports talk radio until Herb Winches.
I never really
it.
listened to it. I would get the print version. There was a place called The Cellar, and it was on. So Sammy's back in the day used to be on the opposite side of Valley Avenue.
The Valley Avenue Ballet?
Yeah, and it was up where I think the place is called the Upper Deck now. And I would tell you guys when we were doing mornings, I'd come in on Friday mornings, and I had to go in there one morning because I didn't know what was going on. It was completely packed out.
It was because it was. I remember that
the Thursday night holdover, right?
But on the other side,
you didn't speak the proper language, did you?
No, you know where the subway is, right?
Yep.
So one down from that was a place called The Cellar, and they would, if you were underage, they just didn't card you back in the day. So we would go in there, but they would have the Leonard's Losers, the print version that you could get. And so I would always read that.
Yeah.
It was in blue ink. I'll never forget.
I'm pretty sure in Anniston it was WDNG, AM 1450, which oddly is not oddly, there weren't a ton of radio stations in Anniston. The first station I was ever on radio. But WDNG 1450, I think, would it be Saturday morning? I guess the station could carry it anytime they wanted. It was a syndicated show. But I think I remember my dad listening to it on Saturday mornings before the games.
I know it
like there was no game day.
I know it came in the 1980, 81, 82 time. It came on a
cassette tape? Reel to reel?
Reel to reel.
Yeah.
It would come shipped to your station on a reel to reel, and which is mind-boggling that they would have to send out a hard copy tape to that many stations. We were a little AM 1500 in Alabaster.
Well, think about AM 1450 in Anniston. They're like, why are we sending it there?
And I'd have to put it on this side, run it through the little, whatever those things are called there, and then wrap it around an empty one, and then play it until you heard the beep. And then
you knew it was coming, yeah.
And then it would start, and you'd back it up a little bit manually.
It really is scary how far technology's come. You think about back in the day, I remember Dave Rossi, the program director for the X, would get big packages from record labels, would send single CDs. And so you would have to wait for those to come all the way from L.A., to break it out and then figure out what you wanted to play. And then I'm sure there was some cash stuffed in some of them.
Do you remember, I bet Rockstar remembers this, when they flipped the X format and they had that music closet full of CDs? Didn't they just let everybody raid the closet and take anything they wanted? Or did people just raid the closet and take anything they wanted?
It went from the Bear to the X.
Yeah.
And the X to, was it Live 100.5?
The X to Live, I think. And then all that great 90s rock CDs like Matchbox 20 and everything was in this one music closet.
Yeah.
And as I remember it, everybody they were just like, take what you want. We don't need them anymore.
Like, I think
Blaze's
Jock's
office was filled with old CDs.
Oh, yeah.
Jock's maybe the most influential terrestrial radio for decades.
Right.
But for a moment in time, I think the X was, it just had some kind of juice.
It was the X Fest and Live in the X Lounge.
And they had really great personalities. I mean, Luca, like her or hate her, was really, really good at what she did.
I think in a concert, I've heard both the Goo Goo Dolls and Matchbox 20 in Birmingham say, we are where we are because of the X and Dave Rossi.
I mean, Sister Hazel didn't go as big as those bands, but Sister Hazel said
they had one good
time.
hit.
Yeah.
Live in the X Lounge was just incredible.
It really was.
There was a show called Rocking in the Years. Do you remember that? It was
Reeling in the Years.
Reeling in the Years. And then
Steely Dan, right?
It is, but it was. But
I thought it was called Rocking in the Years.
I thought it was Reeling in the Years, based on the Steely Dan song.
Well, I thought, but
it could have been. I don't know.
Either
but
way,
it had the great voice guy.
But it would show up on albums.
Yeah,
and it would be a month's worth of shows on albums.
Yeah,
and you'd play it. And I always thought to myself, if I ever steal something from work, I think I want to steal those albums and just sit there and 1977.
It would be like 1969. Yeah. John Lennon has been shot outside of the Ainsworth Apartments in New York City.
The match won the World Series.
The match won the World. And then they play a great song. Oh, it was a phenomenal show.
Yeah.
And it would air at nights.
I see Lunar Landing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, then they would play a song. And it would air at nights. And I remember listening to Rock 99 at nights.
Yeah.
Orlando would be on there.
I would love those songs.
Yeah.
That was the biggest shocking thing in radio, that Orlando was black.
Biggest surprise.
There's no way.
I'll never.
This dude's a brother.
I'll never forget the first time I met him
Me
when I
too.
was working at Cumulus. Like, hey, I want you to meet Orlando Beavers. I was like,
Yeah.
You lie. Yes. Hello, Ryan. It is a pleasure to meet you.
And there is, dude, it never ages. He's still the nicest person.
Nicest
He still
guy
sends
ever.
text, and it's just amazing.
Best voice in the history of the universe. And I was like, that's a black dude. I had no idea.
And he remembers birthdays and anniversaries and stuff. He will text at some point today, hey, congratulations, guys, on your anniversary. That's just the kind of guy he is.
Rock 99.5, I'm Orlando.
But he was doing it, I think, when I was in high school. It felt like overnight. Overnight.
He was,
Deep, I think it was deep
I got
cuts.
asked about Tony Curry last night.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Deep cuts, I think it was.
Can you do Tony Curry, Rockstar? I did Orlando.
That's about it.
Still my favorite impersonation. Hey, the Pants Store's got all your favorite gear for game days. That's why they call themselves the Game Day Headquarters. We may have called them the Game Day Headquarters before they called them themselves, but that's what they are. Whether it's any of the locations in Birmingham, the original one in Leeds, Huntsville, Tuscaloosa, Auburn, they've got it all for you. For you Bama and Auburn fans, polos, hats, quarter zips, from Horn Legend, Cutter and Buck, Antigua, Gentile, so much more. And ladies, you got to get ready for the game as well. The dresses, the rompers, the Hokas, the New Balance, the Western boots. You can get ready to roll for football season. I was talking to EG and Little T last night about how excited they are about getting back to the stadiums. I know you are too. Free alterations to get that fit looking perfect for the season. And if you want to give a gift, free gift wrapping as well with our friends at the Pants Store. Nothing says Roll Tide and War Eagle like our friends at the Pants Store, pantstore.com. Go check them out right there. College football yesterday, Tennessee had a scrimmage. Rockstar gave me cut number 10. Their second scrimmage, did it on a Thursday. A lot of teams doing their scrimmages again this weekend, some today, some tomorrow. Last full scrimmage before the season, I think, for most teams. And listen to what Heupel, and I bet this echoes around college football with the second scrimmage. The SEC and other conferences, they like to send out their crews, right? So the crews get to work almost a game day-like setting, the officiating crews. And Heupel was working on something else, which I bet everyone's working on right now. Listen in.
I thought, just from operations side of it, and I'm just talking sideline communication. Again, we, tried to take TV timeouts, be intentional, working iPad usage. Finished it with a mock halftime for the coaches and players. Just organizationally, I thought it was really clean. We played clean football, had a crew out at the scrimmage and didn't have really many penalties at all during the course of it. So really like that. And then both sides of the football guys made some plays.
I do wonder how many coaches in scrimmages and the live scrimmages are trying to replicate the 2-minute warning as best they can.
That's what he's saying.
That's what he's talking about.
Yeah, that's what he's saying, Brand. We duplicated a halftime and just to manage that.
Yeah, the 2-minute warning. I mean, we see pro coaches that have dealt with it forever screw up the time management on it, Lance. I can't imagine being a college coach never having had to really deal with time management in a tight spot on the 2-minute warning and figure it out on the fly. I don't know that you can replicate it.
Yeah, I don't think Heupel has any NFL. Well, I guess he played in the NFL for a minute.
Yeah.
But outside of that,
but probably not enough where he's got 2-minute warning experience. And again, I've seen coaches that have coached decades in the NFL screw it up. So I can't imagine a college coach that's never had to deal with it screw it up.
Just go around our state, DeBoer and Hugh Freeze.
Never dealt with it.
No NFL experience.
That's right.
Trent Dilfer at UAB. Played in the NFL.
He's probably the best equipped as a quarterback
in our state there. But you go around the league. Lane Kiffin coached in the NFL. Coached the Raiders.
Yeah, he did.
I think people forget that sometimes. He was an NFL head coach.
That was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
They still had the 2-minute warning though.
Yeah, but he experienced that. And you bounce around. There's some people in college football that's used it. Yeah,
Sark with the Falcons. Yeah. I mean, he wasn't making the time management decisions, but he was there for them.
Yeah, Kirby coached with the Dolphins.
Yeah, for a minute,
but he's at
on
least been
defense,
exposed.
so he's not really thinking as much about the timeouts as the offensive coach is in the 2-minute.
Yeah. So Some people got some experience with it, some don't, but I bet every one of them are working on that and the communications, the green dot communications, that you'll hear it referenced by the coaches some because of the green dot that'll be on the back of the helmet there. And again, if you want more on the green dot communications, how officials will officiate certain things this year, why the 2-minute warnings there, Steve Shaw, National Director of Officiating, on the show earlier this week. It is podcasted for you. Audio folks there at Apple and Spotify, always on YouTube, and a lot of breakouts from the folks that handle social media for us there. Go like, subscribe, and follow us on all platforms at Next Round Live. Don't forget, a new Meltdown is live today at 2 o'clock Central Time. 2 o'clock Central Time. New Uncorked, Pennant Grace from yesterday, and all the content. It was great seeing the guys last night. Some folks came over from covercrimson.com. Covercrimson.com, saw Mick and Clint that were over from that side, and all the way up from Auburn. Kyle and Zach were up from thebarnauburn.com. It was good to see them up last night, hanging out with you guys. If you've not gone and subscribed yet to those sites, please do so. They're free content if you want to go and check that out on a continuous basis. Covercrimson.com, thebarnauburn.com. But behind the paywall content, $1 to get you started. $1, and see how you like it for the first month of the season here for $1. Go check that out today. Show being brought to you in part as well by our friends at Johnson RV Center. We talked about Nick in the first segment, one of those great American companies that are ready to help you this football season.
Yeah, the whole family, amazing people. We appreciate their friendship and their loyalty, and you will appreciate their pricing right now. It is tailgating season, best prices of the year, best floor plans, all right there at Johnson RV Center. I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. New and pre-owned travel trailers starting at just $14,995. You get fifth wheel starting at just $397 a month. Lifetime warranty on anything new and qualifying used from RV Warranty Forever. Johnston RV Center. You can see more online, johnstonrvcenter.com.
Call the Next Round now at 205-734-0923.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Hey, you. School's coming back. Time to gear up. And at New Balance Birmingham, we know what's up. Before hitting the books, check out the looks. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
A legendary coach once said, "It's not the will to win that matters. It is the will to prepare to win." Hi, I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryant Bank, and I can tell you that our Bryant bankers have the dedication and the experience to put together a financial game plan that is right for you. At Bryant Bank, we specialize in community banking and offer personal and business loans, checking and savings account, mobile banking, and treasury management services. Stop by one of our 18 offices across the state of Alabama to find out what unbeatable service and legendary results are all about.
You never know what we're up to here at the Next Round. The easiest way to stay in the know with our antics and adventures is to follow the Next Round across all social media platforms at Next Round Live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Whether it's Dunaway sleeping in the studio, Tim and Lunceford breaking down the latest movie release, or Game Day Chronicles, we are here to keep you updated on the latest sports news while, of course, having just a little bit of fun. Follow @NextRoundLive across all platforms to join in.
Got to see some folks from Michelson Laser Vision last night. LT's about to tell you about Michelson. Always great to see some of our sponsors roll by, and we'll mention them as we roll through the show today. But Michelson changed LT's life a few years ago that he could still see how to pick those games on weekends. Without that great eyesight surgery 20 years ago, you probably wouldn't be as good at it, right?
Now, I was having a conversation with somebody last night about Michelson. Amy Doss, the lady, wonderful girl that we
So
tell
we
you
tell you to call?
Yeah, to ask for when you call 205-969-8100. We were having the conversation with a guy, and he's like, I've been wearing contacts forever. I'm 35 years old. And she's like, now is the perfect time to do it. So he's going to make that phone call. Satisfied customers, that's what you get. Dr. Mark Michelson, the first to perform LASIK in the state of Alabama back in 1995. His daughter, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. Make the phone call that I made, 205-969-8100. Again, ask for Amy Toller. The Next Round sent you. They are going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. For more information, michelsonlaservision.com.
Hey, congratulations to Auburn soccer last night. They beat number 5 Clemson 4-0 at home. Auburn unranked. Clemson number 5 in the country, and they get spanked 4-0. In soccer terms, that's like unranked college football team hosting number 5 team in the country and beating them 42-0. Pretty big beatdown there last night. College Football Playoff Committee announces their dates that they will release the rankings. The first one doesn't come out until Tuesday, November 5th. The last one right before the championship weekend is December the 3rd.
Can we get Lunceford's mic? Lunceford is the beautiful mind. He may have to step in and explain this. I was reading up on the College Football Playoff Selection Committee, Lunceford. You ready for this?
Okay.
One of the criteria they use for their rankings is strength of schedule.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Their strength of schedule criteria is based on where teams are ranked when you play them or beat them or whatever, right?
Okay.
So it doesn't adjust. It's when you play.
Well, no, I'm not necessarily saying that.
Okay.
I'm just saying. So their strength of schedule is based on their rankings, which they're using then to build their rankings. Does that make mathematics sense to you, Lunceford? Do you understand what I'm asking?
If you're using it, so like, let's say, I know it's early in the season for their rankings, but let's say Alabama beats Georgia and Georgia's number 1, but then Georgia loses 4 more games after that. So if they're making their rankings off the fact that Alabama beat Georgia and started the Georgia downfall or something like that,
right,
then that makes sense.
Well, yeah, but
you don't necessarily want to do that because maybe
Yeah.
Georgia wasn't actually that good and it was earlier in the season.
So you sort of get 2 rankings, where you are when you play them and then where they are at the end?
My point is their criteria is based on their rankings, which feed into that criteria. It's like this circle. It's like they've almost set up this criteria. I just wish they would say, we just pick the teams we think are best.
Yeah.
What they should say we're going to go through and rank the teams based on how we think
That's
they
right.
should be ranked.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go back and kind of look at it from more of a mathematical sense of, okay, we ranked Georgia this high, but then based on their schedule, maybe they actually are only a spot or 2 down from where they were.
But
say that.
Right. Instead of this whole strength of schedule, which their strength of schedule is based on their rankings, but they use it as a criteria for their rankings. So it's like this vicious cycle.
Or like Vol fan says in the chat, just let the computers do it.
Exactly. I mean, they did a fine job. We have looked at it year after year after year. The computers do the exact same thing the committee did.
But here's another confusing thing. If we talk about James Franklin and Lane Kiffin not good against top 10 teams, but if they play a top 10 team in week 1 or 2, but that team ends up with 5 or 6 losses at the end of the year and they're not a top 10 team, how do you look at that?
Was Lance out the day we discussed this? It was me, you, and EG, right?
I guess it was because we brought that
Okay,
up. What is a ranked win to you? Is it when you play them or at the end?
I mean, really the only way to 100% in concrete would be if they're ranked at that point and then at the end of the year, they're still a top 10 team.
See, because I think it was Jeff in the chat room, the mybookie.ag chat room, big Auburn fan. He's like, it's 100% where they are when you beat them. And I said, okay.
But see, I sort of feel that way.
Okay.
I'm both ways, but
All right.
I sort of feel that way because.
But UCLA had a top 5 win over Alabama back in the Rose Bowl,
And
but
they-
Alabama was a horrible
They were
team that
3
year.
and 8 team. That shouldn't be a top 5
They
win.
were, but follow me here, and I know you can mess up on rankings, but Alabama was coming off that Orange Bowl. They had a lot of talent back. They went to Pasadena with the swagger of the number 3 team or number 4 team in the country. They were all healthy at that point. I mean, as the season goes on, you can get,
and that's why I say there's got to be some. It's got to be subjective.
hype around the game.
But my point to Jeff was, Lance, he says it's got to be where you played them, and that's all that matters. And I said, okay, do you use that same logic? Auburn plays Cal week 2, and let's say Auburn beats Cal, and for whatever reason, Cal catches fire and wins the ACC, and that's their only loss. So you're telling me that should be an unranked win for Auburn?
Yeah.
Or should that be a number 10 win for Auburn, which is where Cal would probably be rated at that point?
And I know the answer to that. As a college football fan, you want whatever benefits your team the
Correct.
most.
That is absolutely right. Because it cuts both ways. I mean, you can beat a team that's unranked, they catch fire, and that wasn't a top 25 win when you played them.
Why not
but at
have
the end of
two
the year-
columns? Why not have two columns?
Which would
Where they are when you played them? Because they're. I mean, you have to admit, if it's 4 versus 5, that game is different than if one team is unranked or. I mean, the same teams, but buzz around it. Nerves, jitters, everything, it's different. It's different. Just like playing on the home or on the road, it's different.
Well, here's a great example this year. Anybody in the Big 12 that plays Kansas, if they play Kansas with Jalen Daniels, I'm willing to say, Lance, that is probably going to end up at the end of the year being a top 15 win for you. If you beat Kansas with Jalen Daniels.
Right. Because you think Kansas at the end will be a top 15
I do,
team.
with Jalen Daniels.
Right.
But if Jalen Daniels gets hurt, that might be an unranked win.
Okay, so I'll give you an example for Jalen Daniels. Last year, he started the first 3 games, and they were 3-0. And then he got hurt in game 4. And then they play at Texas, and they lose 40-14.
Yeah,
now,
I
at
think that was
that
a big
point, when
injury.
they were 4-0, I don't think they were ranked, though.
Probably not.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a massive injury because he was out for the rest of the year, and they ended up losing 4 games.
He's a transformative player.
Micah, and I was about to bring this up, basketball looks at where they finish, but I do think, Micah, they take into account injuries like Brown is bringing up.
Have to.
Like if I beat, we'll pick Janai Broome of Auburn. If I beat Auburn and Janai Broome, and then Janai Broome is out for the rest of the year and they lose and they don't make the tournament, but I played them at their best when they were a top 10 team, that's different. You got to take that into account. I say you got to have 2 columns, but basketball does factor in where they are all season long.
That's why I say don't screw around with the criteria. Let's be logical about this. And let's say Georgia played Texas when Quinn Ewers was healthy and they beat them. Texas was obviously a top 5 team with Quinn Ewers. Unfortunately, Quinn got hurt the week after. Arch Manning wasn't as good as everybody thought, and Texas is now a 4-loss team. I'm not going to penalize Georgia for Quinn Ewers' injury, right? Yeah. That's subjective, and it's reasonable.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're going to have a committee, we expect people to be reasonable. Let them be reasonable.
And Charles says they were reasonable last year. Injuries matter. Florida State's quarterback got hurt.
I agree.
They're not a playoff team.
I agree. They watched them, and they're like, I appreciate everything they've earned. Does this team, can they compete in the playoffs without their starting quarterback? Lance, everybody in the world knew that answer was no.
Well, if they would have gone out, and obviously it didn't happen, if they would have beaten Louisville 59-3 and the offense looked great, maybe they get in.
But you know what they didn't do?
They didn't. Yeah.
They didn't beat Louisville 59-3. They looked awful on offense.
Yeah. And I always go back to the Alabama-Florida State game at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Florida State's quarterback got hurt late in that game, and they were a different team all season long.
They were
because of that injury.
Yep.
But when Alabama played them for almost 3.5 quarters,
they're probably a top 5 team at that point.
That was a good team. That was a good team.
Still coached by Jimbo though.
Uniform releases. How many of these do we have, Forster, that you have ready to go back there? Scott, is there 1, 2, 3, 4?
I think I've got 3.
Hey, Scott, is Louisiana Tech in this?
No.
Oh,
can be.
We may have to revisit.
I
if
saw
Louisiana
Tech,
Tech's not in.
the alternate helmet.
I thought it was.
Do we have very Oilers?
Yeah, I thought it was their season-long uniform. I didn't care for the helmet, but I did like the uniform
with the script Tech on it.
Yeah, but
that's an alternate.
It's the baby blue. Oh, they're not wearing that all season. I thought they were wearing
an
all
alternate
season.
helmet. I saw where. They've got baby blue all the time in their uniforms. The script Tech, because they got a cool logo. Louisiana Tech does.
Ooh, I've never liked that logo. The state of Louisiana with the T on
with
it.
The LT on it.
Yeah, I've never liked that.
Yeah.
It's busy.
I do like their colors, though.
I thought it was a good logo. You just go in your order, whatever you want to go in, Forrester. And these are alternate uniforms, nobody's permanent ones. Forrester will pop up the first one, a little uniform town, brought to you by CPAP. This is Mississippi State football.
Boy, they have struggled to land on a logo, and I think that Script State, Jim, you hate Script logos. I think, Lance, that's their best logo.
Brown, I do hate Script State. I did not like the Script Tech.
I wonder what the state of Mississippi with the star would look like on the helmet.
Ooh, it's not bad.
It wouldn't be bad. I just like it when they do interlocking MSU like their baseball hats.
Yeah,
I don't love that. I like it on their hat.
It's the best of their logos, though. I'm with Lance. I don't love it on the football helmet, but it's the best of their logos.
Is the S Rockstar in that one looks like a treble sign.
Oh, it does.
It almost looks musical.
They're nothing but treble.
They're nothing but treble.
We have way too many shades of maroon, crimson in the SEC.
But I don't like their dark uniforms. But that's a good looking uniform.
No, that's a good looking uniform. I'll give State an A on that.
Like, do we have this color combination in any of the other Power Fours?
What, that maroon and gray that State uses?
I mean, Stanford would be the closest.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know if we have another one, though, do we?
No.
We got 4 jammed up in the SEC.
Yeah, you're right. Not a lot of maroon
New
outside
Mexico
the SEC.
State, but they're in whatever league they're in. No.
Well, I tell you what, I do like it when State goes maroon top, gray pants, though. That's their best look.
That's their best look.
The old Matt Wyatt era look.
Montana, Washington State, a little bit. Washington State's more cherry, isn't it?
I
always thought they were a little bit more cherry.
They I don't think they
more
have
apple. I think they're more apple.
What is it? Is it a PIM?
Yeah.
PMI. Is that right, Rockstar?
The
PMI?
official color code.
Yeah, see, I don't think they've settled on one.
Yeah. What's the next one, Forrester? That's an alternate for Mississippi State, by the way.
So they're only going to wear that like one road game?
One time. Yeah. Sun Devils, they're all golden era.
Just a bad color combo.
It's an alternate.
Not a lot they can do with it.
You say that,
I
Brown?
like their old school uniforms.
Me too. That was my fraternity colors, by the way, garnet and gold. And I think it's a good combination. I don't like the gold as the prominent one. I'm with LT when they were back there with the Sun Devil, the old Sun Devil logo. They had some good looking uniforms.
Sparky.
Yeah. I never liked the color combo.
That's going to be their all gold there. That's not that one. The next one, if it's this one's fire.
Ooh,
here.
I do like the Kansas red jersey.
Kansas
They've
red
worn that
jersey,
before.
white helmet.
Yep.
Ooh, I got chills. That one's so good.
Chills. It's Kansas football, Jim. Settle down.
Yeah, that Jayhawk's a lot, though.
I like the Jayhawk. You don't like the Jayhawk?
I like that. I had a buddy that was in Lawrence a couple of days ago, and he sent me, he was at one of the bookstores and was like, which shirt is the best? And I picked one with the Jayhawk on it. But I'm just saying that would be the equivalent of your basketball court basically going top of key to top of key with a logo.
It is a big logo.
Some try to do that. I don't like it when didn't one year they have just the head on there?
I don't remember that.
I think so. Yeah.
I like it better when it's the entire bird, but that may be too big. I don't like the rock chalk on the sleeve.
I don't either. Leave that alone. Just go stripes on the sleeve, and you've got a great uniform right there for Kansas.
You have one more? Or? Okay, good. Didn't know if you had this one because I wanted to get to this one. You screw up sometimes when you have a blackout.
Don't like this.
Who are they playing?
They're playing LSU. Yeah, BTHO LSU beat the hell out of LSU on October the 26th at Kyle Field, and you can now, with Aggie clothing, buy the black Texas A&M jerseys that they'll premiere for that game.
I think black is like my favorite color, if you want to call it a color, but I can't remember a blackout situation for a prominent school that I've liked. Like Tennessee was bad. I thought Georgia was bad. I don't like when Oregon does black.
Zach Fish.
Has there been a good black?
I can't think of one. Blackout normally is bad for me. Jack State has come up with a blackout uniform that I actually like, but I want to see it on the field first.
Zach Fish says common Texas A&M loss right there.
Yeah, it feels that way.
Shmew, yuck. Krusty, that one is just sad. No hype at all. Jace, hope that's not an 11 a.m. kick. Blackout at 11 a.m.
Yeah, I feel good.
Deep in the heart of Texas. All right, past the top of the hour, Todd Fuhrman standing by on the other side. Show being brought to you by our friends at CPAP Plus. Great folks there that will help you with a sleep pattern that is absolutely the best.
I did not see the O'Neill brothers last night. I did see Ush, though. And, of course, Ush has told us his great experience with our friends at CPAP Plus. Don't buy your mask and supplies from Amazon or online. Go see the folks at CPAP Plus. See what you're actually buying. Visit any of the 3 convenient locations. Pelham, Highway 280, now open and trustful. Free CPAP checkup, free filters, no appointment needed. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. They carry the best equipment from names like ResMed, React, Fisher Paykel, with masks and supplies in stock every single day. Do you need it today? Guess what? They've got it today. They also have travel CPAP machines in stock. With over 200 5-star reviews on Google. The folks at CPAP Plus are CPAP users themselves, so the people helping you know what it's like and are ready to help. Just Google CPAP Plus or stop by any of those 3 locations and make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you.
Follow Jon Lunceford on Twitter at jlunce.
Hey, you. School's coming back. Time to gear up. And at New Balance Birmingham, we know what's up. Before hitting the books, check out the looks. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service. Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemp Hill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the Next Round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemp Hill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemp Hill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com. Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
When on YouTube, you constantly hear requests to please like and subscribe. Well, here at Disrupt Media, we aren't going to play that game. Those demands are frankly outdated. So we just want you to hit like or subscribe. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. Pick a path, hit like, or hit subscribe. It's your call. We don't care which, just pick one. Or go to Roll Tide Pods and do it. Or War Damn Pods. Or the Disrupt Media YouTube channel. Or the Meltdown. Just make a decision and stick with it. Like or subscribe, the choice is yours.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
An amazing story from the kickoff party that the guys in the back room are going to tell us after we talk to the one and only legend of the desert, Todd Fuhrman. NFL exhibition off today on a Friday after one game last night in which the Eagles beat the Patriots 14-13. A lot of games Saturday and Sunday. Fuhrman, I wonder, did the NFL take today off because the Premier League is starting? I mean, is that a big buzz in Vegas?
Whatever.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned the Premier League, Dunaway, because one of the best parts when you watch Premier League games, they actually start their matches when scheduled. So you're starting to take on much more of the NFL tenor or the NBA, where you tell me 8 a.m. Pacific time, and we start meandering into that pregame show, and it's like 8:17 tip-off around the NBA Finals. But I don't think the Premier League had anything to do with the NFL deciding that they wanted to put every single preseason game, or so it feels like, tomorrow, rather than trying to spread it out for us to maximize our football viewing.
Hey, Fuhrman, I was on a heater until last night. I had the Patriots -2.5. I don't know what side you were on there. But what are the handles like? I'm sure they're relatively small when it comes to preseason action at the sports books out there.
You know, interesting note, when you look at the way last night's game played out, LT, is that we've seen line moves now of a field goal or more go to 1-10 so far this preseason. So it's a little bit of buyer beware, always important to get the best of the number, but slightly more efficiency, at least from the openers that we are now seeing in the way odds makers are setting these preseason numbers. And preseason football are going to be the primary betting vehicle at this point compared to regular season baseball, other than some of the parlays that you see on the bigger favorites and people looking to do everything they can possible to bet against the White Sox. When you have those standalone games, they command a lot of attention. Tomorrow it'll be interesting to see which of the games attract a little bit more betting handle, since you kind of have a logjam of sorts. But the one thing I can tell you, especially out here with the Raiders playing their preseason game at home against the marquee brand, the Cowboys, that will be the single most heavily bet preseason game out here in the desert. Standalone time slot, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific. So it'll be interesting to see where that move on game day comes in between the Cowboys and Raiders.
You mentioned the White Sox there. What percentage of recreational parlays do you think people fade the White Sox in right now?
I would say at a pretty high clip. I mean, you're looking at a number today against the Houston Astros where we saw the Astros open right around minus $1.90. We're now out in that minus 260 range against Gavin Crochet, and he hasn't looked anything like the kind of pitcher we saw that might be a dark horse in the Cy Young since the White Sox have mentioned that innings limit. I mean, this essentially feels like that free space in bingo right now that people are looking for. It's not a question of what teams they want to bet on. They want to build around fading the White Sox. And it's no different than when the Yankees and Dodgers were at their peak when I was behind the counter. We knew going into the night, as long as one of those marquee teams that was north of a $2 favorite lost at some point, that was going to be what we needed to try and turn a profit. And something similar, that anytime the White Sox wins, somewhere up in heaven, a bookmaker gets his wings.
Todd Fuhrman, bettheboardpodcast.com. bettheboardpodcast.com, at Todd Fuhrman on Twitter. He's with us on the johnstonrvcenter.com hotline. Speaking of the NFL, what did the J.J. McCarthy injury do to the Vikings, both in their division and just overall? Had Vegas seen enough of him to even make a huge determination on that injury?
Didn't change much of the Vikings' season-long outlook when you consider this was a team pegged fourth in the division behind a surging Bears team with a lot of optimism, given the draft pick of Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze and the way they finished last year. We know the Lions listed as the favorite in the division, and of course Green Bay. It'll be interesting to see if they can rinse and repeat some of their late-season success. But I think what this is going to do, it's going to change the way that people approach the Vikings on a week-in, week-out basis, because they look at Sam Darnold and his full body of work, and you saw a lot of the more prominent social media accounts talking about his EPA, completion percentage, and all the things that Darnold hasn't been able to do during his career. So for someone like me, when you look at the betting market and see Minnesota has gone from a 1-point favorite in that game, week 1 against the Giants, now to a 1-point dog, Sam Darnold was going to be the starter for that game regardless. I know Jordan Addison changes things a little bit, but the expectation was he was going to get suspended. So I'm curious, if this win total were to tick back down in that 6.5 range, I might be a little bit more intrigued. But I think the Vikings, given the offensive mastermind they have a head coach, will be a team that you'll be able to find a little bit of value on, especially early in the season, given all that negative perception around Sam Darnold and what we've seen at stops along the way where he didn't have nearly the same caliber of offensive line or offensive weapons at his disposal.
Todd Fuhrman is with us at 10-ish Central Time every week here on the show. By the time you join us at 10:07 next week, Fuhrman, Bo Nix will likely be the starting quarterback of the Denver Broncos. So win total for them with Bo Nix at quarterback.
Yeah, relatively low. And I think when you look at Denver, I know Sean Payton has been pretty outspoken saying that this isn't going to be what he would call a rebuild by any stretch of the imagination, more of a retooling. But you look up and down that roster, and regardless of how well Bo Nix plays, I think there are a lot of questions that have to be answered. Now, the one thing I will say about the Broncos, I'm not as bullish as some people appear to be on a couple of the other teams in the division. We know the Chiefs are in a class by themselves, as illustrated by that win total of 11.5. And then we're talking about a Raiders and Chargers team who slot, a couple of wins behind them. The Broncos win total 5.5 right now. Long shots to win the division at price tags north of 20-1. This may be a team that, again, I think you can buy on early in the year as they start to figure things out. Actually watch that whole game for the Denver Broncos against the Colts. Like what I saw from Bo Nix, of course, you're facing a lot more in the way of vanilla defenses in a game like that. But you wonder the various stops along the way, the level of maturity he'll bring to the position, and working with Sean Payton, if you'll get early returns for him, if he's able to develop a chemistry and rapport with some slightly underwhelming skill position players out there, not named Cortland Sutton.
The NFC East used to be the most unpredictable conference. I think that goes to the AFC South now. Week 1, Houston was the story of the NFL last year, where they came from and where they finished. Now they go to Indianapolis, a healthy Anthony Richardson. I can't get enough down on Indianapolis plus the 2 at home. How do you feel about that division and that one particular game to kick off the season?
You mentioned a couple of years ago, we used to dread anytime we got divisional matchups in the AFC South. It felt like every year, at least one Thursday night, we were blessed with the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Tennessee Titans, and that was where you took your wife or girlfriend out for a nice date, and you were willing to give up your Thursday night football viewing for that. But we look at the trajectory of all these teams right now, and you mentioned Houston, essentially even money to win the division. They, of course, bring back C.J. Stroud, expecting more from him in his sophomore campaign, address some of their deficiencies on the roster, bringing in a guy like Stephon Diggs with a little bit of juice left in the tank, Danielle Hunter to fortify that defense. I have some questions about this team in the secondary, but you mentioned that Week 1 opener, and there's no doubt the Colts would love to exact some measure of revenge, knowing that they lost the Week 18 matchup against this team with a roster that looked a little bit different. I want to see more from Anthony Richardson in terms of his overall accuracy. Don't love the fact that they'll most likely go into this game without one of their more talented wideouts in Josh Downs. If the number gets to 3, I would be intrigued to try and value bet the Colts as things stand now. For me, though, most likely I'll be tying Indianapolis on probably a 6-point teaser into the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that's the way I'll get of a little bit of exposure there. But the Texans a fascinating team because the roster looks good on paper. DeMeco Ryans, outstanding, good coordinators, but we'll see how they adjust to life as the hunter compared to having a giant target on their back week in, week out.
Todd Fuhrman with us, bettheboardpodcast.com. At Todd Fuhrman on social media is where you follow him. I do want to ask you about the Bills. I've got a personal investment in this question, obviously, as a Dolphins fan. You see them labeled as in rebuilding. They obviously don't have Stephon Diggs. They lose Matt Milano for the 2nd straight year. It's terrible for him. They're they're Pro Bowl middle linebacker. What is your read on them this year? How do you read the Bills? Are you in the rebuild mode? Do you think they can contend?
So a wide range of outcomes for me as it pertains to Buffalo, because I am a big believer in Josh Allen, and I think when you have that kind of transcendent talent under center, he's going to make all the players around him better, and he's going to be forced to do so when you look at the wide receiver room for the Bills. We know they used a pretty high draft pick on Keon Coleman. They bring in Curtis Samuel, who's bounced around a little bit, and Khalil Shakir, who could be a little bit of a sleeper if he emerges as a number 1, especially for fantasy players out there. James Cook saw his workload increase immensely, and I think that'll continue. Dalton Kincaid, in my opinion, is probably the most dynamic weapon they have on the offensive side. And from an offensive line standpoint, this group right around league average, maybe slightly above. But to your point, the injury to Matt Milano changes things quite a bit. He was kind of the heartbeat of that stop unit. You lose some of the veterans in the back end because of salary cap constraints and Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, and also Tre'Davious White. I'd be interested to see if Buffalo now decides to maybe reach out to Micah Hyde and bring some of that leadership back as he's still a free agent. We saw Justin Simmons get signed to a 1-year, $8 million deal for the Falcons yesterday. But I have some concerns about this Buffalo team, and we're already seeing money come in against them week 1 against the Arizona Cardinals. For me, I think this offense can be a little bit under the radar and go out there and exceed some expectations. So I could see points early and often in some of their games. But if I'm looking at the division, honestly, the Dolphins schedule, the first 12 weeks sets up a little bit more favorably than some of their division opponents. So I would lean towards backing them for the division, but I do have concerns about the way their finishing kick sets up. So this division should be fun. It appears to be a true 3-horse race, and New England more or less thrown in the towel already on their full-blown rebuild.
Okay, I've got 3 things here. First, college football. We're 1 week away from our annual bold prediction show down at the Floribama, but LT yesterday dropped, if I get these teams right, LT, that Ole Miss, Notre Dame, and Texas all missed the college football playoffs. Your thoughts on possibly all 3 of those teams missing the college football playoffs?
You know, not the most outlandish thing I've heard by any stretch of the imagination. I can tell you, though, from the folks that sit in those fancy C-suites, as far as TV executives, would not be thrilled if we're talking about an inaugural college football playoff with no Texas and Notre Dame to kind of move the needle a little bit. But when you look at the Irish already dealing with concerns along the offensive line, we'll see what Riley Leonard looks like running the offense. If they lose to A&M out of the gates, I think it automatically becomes an uphill battle. This is a Texas team where I think is going to find a lot more difficult on a week-in, week-out basis going into hostile territory. When you look at the kind of venues they played in on the road in the Big 12, nothing will rival some of these big stadiums. And at Texas, again, if they struggle early at the Big House in Ann Arbor, it changes the complexion of their resume. Ole Miss, for me, is the more interesting team. When I look at their schedule, a glorified exhibition. Won't see them play real meaningful football, in my opinion, until the middle of October. And we'll see if the Portal King can keep everybody on the same page. I think it's always interesting when you look at the landscape. We haven't seen a team go to the portal to compete for a national championship. We've seen it from a resurrection of programs at the bottom to compete in some of the G5 leagues. So, no, I don't think LT is completely out to left field with that we could see a scenario where 3 teams thought very highly of in the preseason may find themselves on the outside looking in.
And this is for you and LT both. You first, Fuhrman. If I put over-under Aaron Judge home runs in his career at 549.5, where would you go?
I mean, just because I look at his advanced age now and we've seen a history of injuries for Judge, asking him to hit 250-plus from this point going forward, I have to go under the total. It kills me to say it as a Yankee fan because I know what he's meant to try and anchor that lineup where they've gone through the ebbs and flows. That just feels like an aggressive price tag, especially if teams elect to begin giving him the Bonds treatment. So I'll begrudgingly go under his career total at 549.5.
I agree with Fuhrman, yeah.
Yeah, he 32?
Yeah, and that 6'7" body, man. I don't know if it holds up.
Where would the number have to get to draw interest for you guys?
Right, I mean, for me, 480.
480, you look?
Wow, just
500 is a lot of home runs, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you back out the rest of this year and you figure maybe he hits, 10 to 15 more over the course of the next 6 weeks this year, I think a fair number to set, because of his age at 32, when you start to get into your late 30s, you're probably, cautiously optimistic setting those numbers between 32 to 35 over the next 6 years. So I think LT's number right around 480 makes a ton of sense.
Okay, and the last one, just listen, if my name is Denny or Joey, I didn't like it. But as a viewer, I didn't hate it. But I've seen Kevin Harvick and so many other people say that Austin Dillon can't do what he did in racing. What was your thoughts at the end of the race in Richmond?
And NASCAR came down with unprecedented penalty. They still allowed Austin Dillon to keep the win, given the shenanigans that we saw late in the race at Richmond, but it did not automatically qualify him for the playoffs. The worst part about that is anyone who watched the race, we see how it ends up with Austin Dillon taking out Joey Logano and Denny Hamlin on that final turn. Austin Dillon had arguably the best car over the long run late in that race, and if we don't get a caution with 2 laps to go, we're talking about one of the more improbable finishes this season with a driver getting to victory lane at a price tag of $250-1, doing it fair and square. So credit to NASCAR. I think they don't want it to necessarily take out the aggression as a major part of the sport we love, but at the same time, you just can't clear out other cars, create unsafe conditions, and we'll see exactly how it goes going forward. But imagine a lot of lifelong fans of that 3-car with Dale Sr. back there. We're not happy with it, but I think NASCAR made the right decision instead of allowing Austin Dillon to establish a precedent that's tough to hand down to some of the more junior racing series as well.
All right, he is Todd Fuhrman, bettheboardpodcast.com. As you heard there at the end, really good on NASCAR. If you're looking for NASCAR plays, but everything right there at bettheboardpodcast.com. Don't forget their conference previews. They've been up for several weeks now. People raving about them in the mybookie.ag chat room, how good they are for every single
so
conference
good.
of college football. BetTheBoardPodcast.com, on social media at Todd Fuhrman. Thank you, Fuhrman. Have a great weekend.
Always a pleasure, gentlemen. You guys as well.
All right, buddy. Fuhrman with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.
Okay, Lunceford and Forrester are going to tell us an amazing story from last night's party after LT tells us about, and we have an updated picture to go with that, after LT tells us about our friends at New York Butcher Shop.
New York Butcher Shop, the weekend is here. Pick up some of those smash burgers, delicious steaks. If you're out looking for a lunch, the huge deli sandwiches are fantastic. They've also got a great selection of desserts and fine wines. Rare quality, well serviced, 2 locations. Get in, see Jim and the guys. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. Highway 119 in Greystone, also the Cahaba Heights location.
All right, give me Lunceford and Forrester's microphone. Who wants to start us off? Forrester?
Yeah, so last night, anniversary party.
Yep, I was there.
Josh Kelly and his wife, Caitlin, were there.
Okay.
Caitlin was very obviously expecting.
Oh, I saw them. Yeah, she was super pregnant.
I didn't realize that we had a entry fee to our fantasy, but Josh came up and he's like, "You owe me $20."
Yeah,
I was like,
there you go. Glad you did that. Yeah.
Okay, and now, as they used to say in the old-time radio, the rest of the story.
Well, the rest of the story is just how expecting she was.
Yeah, I was talking to Josh, and Laura was there. We were talking. He's like, "Yeah, it's my wife. She's sitting at the bar over there," and she was sitting there. I could tell she kind of, sort of didn't want to be there, but I didn't really realize why until he's like, "Yeah, we got to go to the hospital at 4 a.m."
Whoa, it was
4 in the morning.
Wait, you mean like in like?
Have we had the kid?
In like 6 hours, 4 in the
Have
morning.
we had the kid?
My gosh.
We've had the kid.
Are you kidding?
Baby Murphy is here.
From the party last night to the delivery room with his next round hat on, our man Josh, early best of the weekend nominee, Baby Murphy, is here just in time for week 0.
That is some dedication
Damn,
to the show.
Pastor Maggie didn't even make it. And that girl, damn, has a kid on the stool.
Cut that out and send that to Maggie.
Yeah, she'll love it.
She had Brown as the first passive aggressive and why she wasn't there, but LT off the top rope.
And Josh in the chat now too, so it's dedicated.
Holy crap! If you people are too soft to come to the kickoff
That is
party next year,
unbelievable.
y'all need to remember this moment.
See, I didn't even know she was pregnant because my vantage point, I just saw her, top half over the bar.
Yeah.
And I talked to Josh. He came over. So I never even...
I didn't know she was pregnant. I didn't know she was pregnant either. I only saw her from
She's
behind.
not pregnant anymore, so I didn't see her pregnant. I hadn't seen her pregnant since. So
That is
congratulations. That's
that is
incredible.
pretty awesome. Congrats, Josh.
By the way, Josh, if I didn't have to pay Clay every time I say it, I would tell you outkicked your coverage by a mile.
Yeah.
And what a trooper. There last night, but when Forrester and Luntz was telling me that, oh, yeah, they were there and she was there, and I said bye to them, and I said, wow, you're pregnant. And then they said, 4 a.m., they're on their way to deliver. That's unbelievable.
That is, he convinced her to do that the night before she's going in to be induced is pretty impressive.
Yep. That is.
By the way, the induced delivery, the best way to go.
Yeah.
Well, you've got a built-in designated driver as a wife when they're pregnant.
That's a
I
good
wonder if
point.
he had to use the QR code when they got out of bed at 4 a.m. They decided to ride to the hospital.
Oh, so good, so good. Man, Josh, thank you. We look forward to kicking your butt in fantasy football this year. It'll be fun. All right, that was absolutely fantastic. So too is our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. UCA, they'll take care of you as you get a little bit older. We've done 4 parties now. Oh, you're waving. What you got? You got an update?
By the way, Josh told me that he saw our friends at UCA last week, and baby number 4 will be the last.
Oh, come on, Josh. Don't shut it down now.
Okay.
He's in a busy ass.
Hey, I love that. He was working her. He told me last night when he got the money, he was like, she's in charge of all the collections. I'm like, damn. I mean, I didn't realize he had a pregnant wife. And
He just kept talking the whole time about how, I got half our fantasy league done already because he had 4 kids and the 2 of them. He's like, I only need a few more people now.
Wait. So it's not even on my copy. So our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama takes care of that too?
What do you think they do?
That's how I established a relationship when I got my vasectomy.
What do you think your urologist does for a living?
So let me just tell you the story where you'll never
read
forget
the
it.
copy. I just read the
was
large
set
letters
up
on my card.
at the Kirkland Clinic to get a vasectomy. And our buddy Jimmy Anthony's the one that was like, go see this doctor. He's like, I'll just tell you, it's going to be painful. And so I set everything up, went and got the, what do you call it?
Vasectomy?
No. I had a
evaluation.
Whatever it was.
Lunch.
So I get a call from their office
Photo session.
the week of. I had planned on being out that Friday. And I got a call like on Tuesday, and he had a death in the family, so he couldn't do it. So I threw it out on the air. I was like, if anybody out there can do a vasectomy, I've already got this thing planned. I need it Thursday. And literally, there were like 11 different urologists reached out. And Patty Mills is the guy that ended up calling. So we established a relationship at UCA, and the rest is history.
Josh, Dr. Brewer has texted us here and says he used special instruments, but he shouts it out back at you too. So,
and by the way, the vasectomy went off with a breeze.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
No pain, nothing.
Yeah. So did he get the vasectomy, or did he just go?
This is the greatest Jim moment of all time, by the way, because I went to the same place Lance did. UCA is actually where I got mine done.
Where you got your vasectomy done?
But you just said that. I
know, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't
this
connect the
is the
dots.
same guy that can explain a movie and can't even tell you if he watched it or not.
Yeah, I didn't connect the dots.
Yeah,
didn't connect the dots there. Everyone, yes, Champies does sell chicken, Jim. You guys are hilarious in the chat room. Urology Centers of Alabama, they do vasectomies too.
That's right.
And everything else. All your urological needs, from prostate health to kidney stones, somewhere in between those two things, vasectomies. They'll take care of you. Schedule an appointment today. 16 locations around the great state of Alabama. UrologyCentersAlabama.com to schedule an appointment. All right. Congratulations, Josh. We're back in a moment right here on TNR.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Excitement awaits at Barber Motorsports Park for the Fanatec GT World Challenge America, September 6th through the 8th. It's a high-octane weekend you won't want to miss. Witness some of the most iconic sports cars like Lamborghini, McLaren, Porsche, and Ferrari battling it out on the track. Enjoy the beer gardens, kids zone, and don't forget to bring your dog for bark at the park on Saturday. The Fanatec GT World Challenge America, September 6th through the 8th. Kids 15 and under get in free. Get your tickets today.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them The Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or Michelson. LaserVision.com.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
All right, back with you on the next round. Show being brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill. We'll tell you about Lance's Lock, some of the NFL plays coming up in just a second. But I do want to tell people, I did throw it into the Fuhrman interview, not to sneak it past you guys. But we are going to be at the Floribama next Friday for what now is back-to-back years for our bold prediction show. Great place to be when we're making bold predictions. And we'll be down at the Floribama. Steve and the guys who have been so kind to sponsor Rockstar all summer long in the lounge. We'll get a chance to throw back a couple of cocktails, get our toes in the sand. Or is it toes in the water, butts in the sand? Whatever.
That is the song, yes.
Whatever we need to do. But we're going to make bold predictions down at the Floribama next week.
Yeah, I'm going to try, if we can, if it's not too hot. I would love to, the first show we ever did was on that kind of that sand dune.
Yeah, it's on the green space right there. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would like for us to do our Mystery Fifth Hour there, if you guys are up to that.
Let's do the whole show there.
Yeah, or we could do that.
If the weather is good. Are you good with that?
But we'll be going
Yeah.
down Thursday after the show, doing a live show there Friday. So I've already reached out to some people down there. Hopefully people will come by and see us again. Really looking forward to that.
I mean, Little T's camera last night was making my face look a little chunky, so I'm okay with
it. Was the camera
with sweating off a little bit outside while we're down there. But next Friday, if you're in the area, come hang out with us for our bold prediction show.
I tried to get Little T to go. I asked her, I was like, do you want to go down there with us? Because she's got friends in that area.
Yeah.
And she's like, I got to go to a wedding. And I was
That's
like, you
the
really
least
don't,
surprising
you
thing.
don't have to go to a wedding.
Least surprising thing is that Little T's got to go to a wedding.
I mean, she's at, we've all been at that particular time in life. We were looking at football games this year, ones she was going to go to, not going to, and she's got, bachelorette party or wedding, or she's got like 3 things this football season that's keeping her from going to a good Auburn football game.
Zach Fish says he'll be at the Bama tonight. Can we give him a pointer on how not to get kicked out? There's several easy ways to get kicked out of the Bama.
Yeah,
Keep your shirt on.
Look, you can have so much fun. Like, I really, if you're not falling down, they're not going to throw you out. Like, don't get in a fight. Don't take your shirt off. Don't cuss out a bartender.
Don't
randomly grab somebody's ass.
Don't use a fake. They are super, super, super strict about fake IDs, as you would imagine. You will not get through. Like, they catch them left and right, fake IDs.
It's funny. I wonder if Zach Fish was watching my interview with Zay and Chip yesterday, because we were talking about the Floribama and the 2 unfortunate incidents I had a long, long time ago. But if you just act normal, you're going to be absolutely fine, and you're going to have fun. What spot were we even do? Are we going to do some commercial?
Oh, it's Hemp Hill. It's Hemp Hill. Lock of the day.
Yeah, of course.
LancesLock.com.
1-2 last night. The Patriots let us down. We were on a heater. We're now 6-2 in the NFL preseason, but more NFL preseason winners coming tomorrow for you. New website, LancesLock.com. New YouTube channel, win at LancesLock.com. 3 Major League Baseball plays available for this Friday night. Jump on board and win with us. Always brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services, who always win. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there, 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
By the way, UAB Fan Fest is tomorrow, 2 to 4 down at the Legacy Field. They got their 2025 American Conference opponents, not dates yet. You get to see Army in town next year if you're a UAB fan. That's got to be pretty cool to go to an Army game here in town. Army, UAB next year, Memphis in town next year. Auburn student section, word came out. Forster, I don't think this ever happened while you were there or Little T or what, but so many students now that want to go to the games, they're pumping the student section. They're expanding it, sending 2 sections up into the upper deck, sections 101, 102. Into the upper deck, so they're expanding the student section. You like that?
I like that. The students make the noise.
They do. I tell you what it results in, though, and you've seen this in Tuscaloosa, the early exits from the upper deck give it a little bit of a bad look. students are more apt. They're living on campus. If the game gets a little bit out of hand, they'll hit the bars. They'll head back to especially the hot games. So that's kind of what you struggle with. You see it at Georgia, too. Georgia has overflow student section. A lot of times when a game kicks, you see those empty seats in the upper deck, and everybody's like, Georgia fans not showing up. It's not really that. It's that the students are sitting in the overflow.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, I think it's general admission seating. So once you get in, then all of a sudden,
it is.
I want to be in the lower bowl.
That's right.
So I'm going to sit here and cram and sit in the stairs and stuff and not go up to the upper stairs. But so many students. Why limit tickets to the students when you got those empty seats? Because not everybody travels because of TV games anymore.
Yeah.
They're filling in basically where visiting teams their road fans used to sit. And we just don't travel like we used to anymore.
Is there a way to give seniority to lower seats? I wonder.
Different schools have different ways.
Yeah, that's the way I would do it. Is
about blocking off for fraternities, sororities.
I remember back in the day when I was in school in Tuscaloosa. You would send pledges with like a fraternity flag.
I remember
and that would
that,
be
yeah.
like basically holding that section.
And they had to stand there in their coat and tie and hold the flag.
But they had it dictated like, the Greek system would be like, okay, here's where the block seating is. This is where the SAEs are.
But I would say if I'm a upperclassman, I should get the lower level seats. If I'm a freshman, I should have to sit in the upper deck.
Little T can answer this, but I do think from Mary Kate, who's the
Mary Caitlin?
Mary Caitlin,
our very first intern.
Her last year, their section was right there where the Micah guy is. So I do feel like that your senior year, you get to have those primo seats right there.
That's the way I think it should be. If you're a freshman, you ought to sit in the upper deck. I mean, there are a lot of places, like I think in Alabama, until they expanded, freshmen weren't even getting
tickets.
Weren't even getting student tickets at the time.
Yeah, Zach, I appreciate you missing the party last night. You've been on my butt for a few months now in the chat room.
Only a few months, huh?
Yeah.
Well,
I thought we had was that not Zach last night?
We had a couple of Zachs, just not that Zach there last night. Yeah, I was trying to think of the correct name. I apologize for getting hung up there a little bit. Show being brought to you, we said, by our friends at Hemphill. You just did that. Saturday Blitz is a fan-sided site, and they did a poll of their writers on softest coaches in college football. I'm by far the softest host up here. I get offended most easily. But in college football, if I said, give me the guy you consider to be the softest coach, the guy that has thin skin, that the media...
Well, Deion Sanders.
Number one on their list.
Well, I mean, it's a guy that won't answer a question from a CBS Denver TV reporter because CBS Sports National said something bad about him, apparently. I mean, that's pretty thin skin.
Yeah, I think Jimbo Fisher would have been on this list.
Not coaching anymore, but I bet you 100%. Three other coaches that I pulled off their top 4.
Is Lane Kiffin on this list? Dabo's got to be on the list.
Dabo number 3. Dabo number 3.
Is Kiffin on it?
Kiffin honorable mention.
Okay.
Wow, that's pretty good at this.
By the way, Trent Dilfer, number 5 on the list. I've never noticed that about Trent Dilfer.
Is James Franklin on here?
Honorable mention.
Well, that's weird with Trent.
I've never noticed that.
Oh, I can see it.
Can you though?
Yeah.
But I mean, and this is no shot at UAB. UAB fans would say this. They don't get an excessive amount of media coverage. Where has he been so thin-skinned with the media?
I don't know.
I've got this. Mike Gundy.
Yeah, he's got to be in consideration.
I mean, all you got to do is say something to him.
Yeah.
Like Mike Gundy, I bet he could whip a man's ass, but boy, he
look, I mean, our Stews
sensitive.
agreed with you. He threw Gundy out in the MyBookie.ag chat room.
Yeah.
But he's not
so
on this
no
list.
honorable mention for Gundy?
I can't remember. I'll check it out. I can't remember the honorable mentions, all of them. I've got the other 2 written down in the top 4. Deion was 1.
Is Cristobal 1?
Lincoln Riley was 2.
Yeah, he's pretty thin-skinned.
Dabo was 3. And Troy just nailed it. Ryan Day is 4. Remember the old Lou Holtz thing?
Oh, gosh, yes. It's Ohio versus the world. Lou Holtz. I mean, just a ridiculous post-game explosion about Lou Holtz and Ohio versus the world. It was the weirdest interviews I've ever seen.
Yeah, I love me some Deion as a player, but man, I hate this because I don't want to start disliking Deion, but boy, it's really difficult right now, and it's going to be really difficult not to pull against him.
But he's always been soft. Deion was one of the greatest corners we have ever seen play the game. How was he in run support? He never really got
no, not at all. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen him make an open field tackle in his life.
So he got labeled as kind of soft as a player in that aspect.
Well, and he didn't take criticism well as a player. You remember Tim McCarver?
Yeah, I misidentified that as World Series. I was incorrect. That was NLCS, where he was playing both sports, and Tim McCarver was very critical of him. And for those that don't remember, after the Braves had clinched their spot in the World Series, he dumped a bucket of Gatorade or bucket of water on Tim McCarver.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that was just so immature. And, McCarver did you're a real man, Deion. You're a real man. You remember that? So, I mean, this has always been who Deion is.
Yeah, and I bet back then, even in McCarver's age, he might have been able to whip Deion's ass. I mean, McCarver, old school catcher.
Yeah. I don't know why it's got to be this way for Deion. I think, hear what I'm about to say right here. Is there a coach that has gotten, think through this now, more positive coverage for doing less at a program than Colorado?
No.
Now, he's gotten a ton of negative coverage, too. All right, I'm not ignoring that.
But those first 3 weeks last year, man.
Yeah. But what has he really done at Colorado?
I remember
he's got a ton of positive coverage for that.
Our friend Tom Luganbill actually laid it out perfectly where Colorado was as a program, and he got destroyed for saying that. And ultimately, it played out exactly like Luganbill said it was going to play out.
Yep. I mean, when they started going up against bigger, better rosters, they were getting railroaded. I mean, I don't know. I think Deion has gotten his fair share of negative coverage at Colorado, but I think he's gotten a ton of positive coverage.
Yeah, and if this thing comes off the rails quickly, which it might, I mean, imagine if they lose to North Dakota State to open things up. I don't think they will, but the very next weekend at Nebraska's a healthy favorite in that game.
I was just looking at the Thursday night point spreads. I don't know if mybookie.ag
they won't have one on that. It'll be an outlaw line.
I've seen it at 7.5 somewhere, have I not?
Yeah.
That's probably about right.
Yeah. I mean, they are only a touchdown favorite over North Dakota State. The FCS ratings came out. I do remember it was the day you were out because EG was sitting right there. It was North Dakota State and South Dakota, right?
North Dakota State was 2. South Dakota State was 1.
Who plays Oklahoma State?
Yeah.
Oklahoma State's probably going to handle them, but
I think that number's only 7.5.
I mean, those are your two best teams, at least preseason in FCS.
I thought one of them was 7.5. One of them was 3.5.
Ooh, I don't think 3.5. That'd be a low number.
I think Colorado was 3.5.
I think I saw it at 7.5. There's no way Oklahoma State's only 7.5 over in FCS.
Well, if North Dakota State beats Colorado, it is off the rails immediately. It's not going to get back on the rails. And I just wonder how Deion really acts to the media. And I wonder if the media cowers down. Like, we were viewed as a cowering media when it came to Nick Saban. Like, people did not want to ask Nick Saban the hard questions.
Right. Nationally, they're like, those Alabama media folks aren't going to try to upset
him. And the truth of the matter is, if you continue to ask a question that they didn't like, I mean, I could see situations where maybe you're not asking any more questions.
I don't know how the fan base is going to turn on him, though. I don't even know to the extent that they have
a fan base.
Care.
Yeah.
Well, attendance.
They'll just smoke weed and walk the other way.
Oh, we lost another game.
School enrollment has gone up, so they may be pretty happy with the publicity they're getting. LT's got our 4 downs coming up. Hydra Live bringing this part of the show. He pre-gamed yesterday with Hydra Live. Probably pretty happy about that.
Yeah. It's funny. Again, I had a couple of beers like the first 2 hours, and then as we got into the night, that's when people wanted to start. Hey, you want a bourbon neat? You want a shot of tequila?
I did see people buying you shots.
And that's one of those situations where at my age, I don't want to do shots anymore. But in a celebratory situation where you're meeting somebody.
Here's my thing at walk-ons, though. They're shot.
Oh,
it's a huge shot.
Massive.
Yeah.
It was like you could put Rob Snyder, who was in studio, you could put his fist in one of their shot glasses. That big of a shot. Anyway, IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, compression therapy, all under one roof. Boost that immune system with HydroLife therapy. IV therapy treatments packed with nutrients to increase energy, reduce stress and anxiety, boost your immune system, and much more. Ask about the memberships. Members are rewarded with deep discounts. Basically, recoup that IV membership in just one visit. 2 locations in Birmingham, Homewood, Highway 119 in Greystone, also a Tuscaloosa location. Very important. Mention next round, 20% off any of the great services. For more information, hydrolivetherapy.com.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new chicken bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the Bayou, the amazing hand-patty burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com. I'm here with my good friend Jon Lunceford of Lunceford Furniture to tell you about special values on some super comfortable seating. What you got, John?
Lance, every year we stock up on great comfort items like Lazy Boy recliners and sofas so that our customers can be ready for fall and football. This year is no different. We've made special purchases that will deliver great value to Next Round listeners and give them the most comfortable seat in the house. And as always, we've got the best prices in the state on Lazy Boy and the best selection anywhere.
That's awesome. We all know from years of shopping with you guys that Lunceford Furniture is the home for Lazy Boy value.
Our friends at Inverness Country Club, where Brown and I enjoy hopping out and playing a little golf. My friend Lauren Sisler, they're members out there, and she just raves about their pool experience. So many things. If you're a young, up-and-coming couple, or maybe you're set to retire, all ages, welcome at Inverness Country Club.
Yeah, our man Aaron Suttles, a member out there. Told you a good friend Travis Scrappo just got a membership the last couple of weeks. They've got memberships that fit everyone. Social, including resort-style pool, complex full-service cabana, bar, live music on Friday night, Sunday brunch, golf, beautiful course. Currently expanding that driving range. Childcare also a big plus. You and your wife on a day of golf or tennis, guess what? You can drop the kid, go have yourself a day on the court or course. Dinner with friends, knowing your kid is safe on site is a massive plus. Maybe you work from home. What about working from the club while they watch your kid? Best days happen in Inverness. Take a tour of this unbelievable club. Call Aaron. Tell her the Next Round sent you. 205-991-8608. That's 205-991-8608 or online, ICCalabama.com.
A couple of really good baseball series this weekend, Boston and Baltimore, but really in the central, Cleveland and Milwaukee. Should be a fun series to watch. If you're looking for an interesting read, Sports Illustrated, talking with friend of the show, Jeff Collins, now defensive coordinator at North Carolina, said he always had success in his career until he got to Georgia Tech, and how he struggled with not having the success that he always has experienced while he was at Georgia Tech. That's an interesting read at SI.com. Lunceford will be on he and Melton part of the Thompson broadcast again. You in the chat room over there are saying Georgia high school football kicks off this weekend. Greg from Pell City was out last night. They're in week 2 of their private school schedule.
Well, that's some hot games to be sitting through.
Are already going this week. I don't know when Thompson and Forster, when Thompson and all those other the local high schools crank up. It's not this weekend, is it? It's next week, I believe. The week 0 week.
I can speak for Moody. That starts next Thursday.
Thursday. I think you can do the jamborees this week. I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
So high school football is coming up. You may be seeing big stories that Robert Griffin III and Samantha Ponder were fired from ESPN. They're coming to the end of their fiscal year. I'm not surprised about Sam Ponder's salary. I was a little surprised that it was a seven-figure deal for Robert Griffin III. I didn't see him on a lot of stuff, and that he was an analyst, but he was making over $1 million a year.
Yeah, I did not think I wasn't a big fan. I like Sam Ponder. I can't believe you would get rid of Sam Ponder and you've still got somebody like Kimberly Martin.
Yeah, I don't know who she is, but
I don't understand it.
I can't believe you continue to watch that show. I bet there's probably a price difference of the two. I read that they're paying out the contracts though, which is weird.
Yeah, they're paying out a little over $1 million each for the 1 year that's left on Sam Ponder's contract. I don't know how much was left on RG3. He got in his game analyst. He was the guy that he did one Alabama game this past year. It was
South Florida.
It was so much cliches and sayings and stuff. I was like,
I was not a big fan of that. Now he had a prominent role in their Monday Night Countdown show, which is pretty prime territory for ESPN. Yeah. So I could see why he was probably making pretty good money there.
Who they got somebody. They got the Kelsey guy, right? That's sliding into that role.
Yeah, Jason Kelsey.
So basically,
I don't know that he's going to be on Monday Night Countdown, but he is joining ESPN.
I think he is.
Yeah, I think he could be a good addition. He's an entertaining guy.
Yeah, he's sort of a T-Bob Hebert of the NFL.
Yeah, that's one of those shows. It's a little bit like College Game Day. I've got Monday Night Countdown on in the background. I'm not really paying close attention to it until they get to the. They used to do You Got Mossed, and then You Had One Job, and then it's basically time for kickoff at that point. It's just one of those. I've just got on because it's leading up to Monday Night Football.
Right.
Yeah.
And I like to see their picks because when they're all on one side.
You go the other way?
Yeah.
Volfan 205 said Barstool should hire Sam Ponder. They got a history way back when. And more recently when a Barstool show went to ESPN, the report was that Sam went and maybe.
She was one of the employees that didn't like it.
Yeah, maybe helped push them out after one show.
Yeah,
but we'll see what her next step is.
That was Pardon My Take. It was an ESPN show for like a minute.
Yeah,
that's amazing that a couple of employees can bitch and something can get pushed away.
Over that show, I mean, that show's just not that. Well, I've watched it occasionally. It's just not that crazy to me.
Yeah, and don't you know what you're getting into? Like, don't you really vet it before you bring it on?
It is with Barstool. I think you know what they are.
Four Downs brought to you by our friends at Slice Every Day. Great place for lunch or dinner. Tell us about Slice.
Yeah, think about going into Slice this weekend. 5 great locations: Vestavia, Montevallo, Crestline Park. The newest location in Edgewood. Stop in, see all the guys. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. Local pizza, local ingredients. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
First down.
Who gets to the college football playoff first? Brent Venables or Mike Gundy?
I mean, it's an easier path for Mike Gundy.
But that included any.
Actually, Gundy could do it this year. Obviously, they've got an automatic bid.
Yeah, I'm going to go Gundy. It's an easier path for him. It's absolutely this year. But I even think in future years, I'd rather have to navigate that automatic bid for the Big 12 to even try to get an at-large from the SEC.
I'm going to go Gundy as well. 20 returning starters this year. It's going to be a wild Wheel of Destiny type year for the Big 12, but I like Oklahoma State.
Second down.
Director James Cameron, 70 years old. If I ask you your favorite James Cameron movie.
I'm going to have to refresh the list here.
So
Titanic
Terminator, Terminator 2, Aliens, Titanic, all the Avatars, True Lies.
He did Aquaman with Vinny Chase on Entourage.
You have yet to name one I've seen or liked.
Oh my gosh.
He did the Avatars, though, right? You said
He
that?
did, yeah.
No,
Terminator 2 is my favorite.
I've never seen the Terminators. Would I enjoy those,
they're
you think?
so freaking good. I don't know. I mean, do you like any sci-fi?
Not a ton.
Everyone's saying Terminator 2.
Terminator 2 is incredible. Aliens is great, though.
Yeah.
True Lies is a fun movie for the whole family, I guess. I thought Titanic was well done.
Yeah, I like Titanic.
I have no problem saying that. A lot of people say it's very gay to say that Titanic is a good movie.
Yeah,
I think it's a bit overrated.
A chick flick, maybe, but I think it.
Now, I'll tell you, my kids were bored. They were like,
when's that ship going to
I mean, really, like, what has happened here?
But if you look at classic, I know you're like me, you took a classic film class in college. If you look at how that was shot and the camera movements and the framing and everything, the ballroom,
I
down
just
the
knew
stairs,
the backstory and like the budget, some of the stuff, just all of the headaches on set. You know, it's a period piece, obviously, but showing the different classes. Like you have a class system on a boat, which to me was really fascinating. Just seeing everything involved, how they actually loaded up cars to transport from England over to America. I mean, there was just so many little nuances about that movie that I thought were really good.
This is 100% true. I don't even have to ask Dunaway. See You in the Buff says Jim probably loved the fogged up window scene. That's your favorite scene in the movie.
That was second. No.
Second favorite behind
Number one.
Draw Me Like One of Your French Girls?
Draw Me Like One of Your French Girls.
Yeah, it's only because it contained
Jason,
nudity.
who I got an opportunity to meet last night, Abyss is a really good movie. Really, really good. I mean, Cameron's done some really good stuff. You know what his first movie he ever directed was?
Piranha 2.
Piranha 2.
Oh, he didn't get the original?
But it's amazing that he went from Piranha 2 to Terminator. And do you remember who he was going to cast as the Terminator?
I know Beverly Hills Cop and Terminator.
Okay, so you need to watch the Arnold Schwarzenegger documentary on Netflix. It is fantastic. It is great. But James Cameron wanted O.J. Simpson to play the Terminator.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was foreshadowing.
Would not have stood up well. Or maybe it would have.
Yeah.
More believable.
Write your own script, O.J.
Third down.
By the way, Billy Zane played the best part in Titanic to me. I thought he was the best actor.
So I came across this show called Mad Dogs with Billy Zane. And it's got a really good cast. Steve Zahn's in it. Steve Zahn?
Zahn.
Yeah, Steve Zahn. Michael Imperiglione, who played Christopher Moltisanti, the Romy Malnick guy or whatever. But it's about these 5 guys that go to Belize, just kind of getting back together. And it is crazy. Billy, I'll give it away. It was 2016, 2017, but it's out of nowhere. This character walks in with a cat head on and blows Billy Zane's brains out at the dinner table. It is the craziest thing. And I'm only on episode 2, man. I don't know where this thing's going.
Mental note, if somebody ever walks into the restaurant with a cat head.
Yeah, duck.
Yeah. This is weird because we had Steve Martin's birthday earlier this week, and I asked you guys better career, Steve Martin or Steve Carell. Steve Carell's birthday is actually today. He's 62. If I ask you ultimately better career, Steve Carell or Stone Cold Steve Austin?
I would go Steve Carell. I don't know where Stone Cold Steve Austin is viewed among wrestlers. I know it's pretty high.
That's a Lunceford question.
Lunceford, what you got for us?
Yeah, Stone Cold's one of the best wrestlers of all time.
That changes things. I didn't know that.
Line.
That is the bottom line.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the
Steve
bottom
Carell
line?
said so. Yeah. It's Stone Cold probably.
Dude, Stone Cold can
Steve
crush a
Carell.
beer better than anybody in the world.
Correct.
He really can. But I would have to go Steve Carell. I mean, Steve Carell is very versatile.
Yeah. I'm going to go Steve Carell, but the chat room says I'm wrong. It is all Stone Cold.
Fourth down.
Madonna, 66 years old today. Ultimately, better career, Madonna or Beyonce?
Beyonce.
I think I'll go Beyonce too by the end. Now, I don't know.
I think it's easy to say right now just because moment in time.
Well, but
like if you back this thing up 30 years, I mean.
But how long ago did Beyonce have her first hit? I mean,
with
she's working on
Destiny's Child, late 90s.
Yeah, so she's working on 30 years already and has been relevant over that 30 years where Madonna sort of hit a wall.
But I do think Madonna for a moment in time was as big as Taylor Swift.
But tell me this.
Iconic,
Do you think that Beyonce is going to tour till she's a ragged old lady like Madonna?
I mean, they're billionaires already.
Yeah.
Jay-Z.
That's what I'm saying.
Way.
I don't think she'll continue that.
I mean, you don't have to, but it's Beyonce for me because I think what happened with Madonna, she got where she just wanted to push the envelope at one point, right? She just wanted to
I think she was just a sexual deviant.
To be controversial.
Yeah, I don't know what was true about her. It was either that or that. One of those two was true. She was either a deviant or was just doing it for an act.
I don't think it was an act.
No, she was huge.
I think
in the
she
80s.
had an appetite.
Yeah, and she was huge in the 90s.
She was in Dick Tracy. Come on.
Yeah,
that's when she was banging Warren Beatty.
Yeah,
and she was in Searching for Sarah.
Finding Nemo.
No, Searching for Susan.
Searching for Susan. Yeah,
with Arquette.
Yeah,
Patricia Arquette.
Almost the lead in that.
No, Rosanna Arquette. It was
Rosanna. Who's that
Arquette.
girl?
Yeah, she was almost the lead, right? In that, I mean, she was virtually the lead in that.
I don't know if Keith's right. Madonna, the number one selling artist of all time. I mean,
yeah.
Depends who you ask.
That's been a debate.
Yeah.
Desperately Seeking Susan.
Desperately Seeking Susan.
I did see that movie. It was desperately boring.
So take me back to the Madonna number one. Or what do you mean?
So, this was a triple threat trivia question that I have been debating because it ultimately led to me losing. But Madonna claimed on Kimmel or Fallon or somebody that she is the highest selling artist with 400 million records. And so Guinness Book World Records went with it. But if you look at the Record Industry Association of America, Rihanna, I think, is actually the highest selling artist.
Rihanna?
Yeah, because she's done a lot. She's technically like credited, with a lot of other people.
But you're also there's vinyl, there's CDs, there's downloads, there's streams.
And see, if you count just like Spotify and all that, I mean, obviously Taylor Swift's so much bigger.
I am willing to say though that Madonna is the highest selling artist of all time that has slept with both Dennis Rodman and Warren Beatty.
I don't think we can confirm that.
Yeah,
I'll try.
Oh,
I'll
feel
believe
pretty good about that.
Yeah. Daniel says Rihanna always underrated by the chat on 4 Downs. I love me some Rihanna.
Oh, and if you go with all her collaborations and everything too, plus now with her fashion line and everything, she's one of those that's like I don't know if her net worth is technically $1 billion, but she's one of those secret billionaires, secret highest selling artists of all times that like you never really think about.
Yeah, I think she is close to a billionaire, but if her and Peyton Manning had a kid, how big would the forehead be?
It'd be quite large.
Yeah. It would be a 6 head.
Dare I say.
And a hell of a Super Bowl.
Dare I say, it would not fit under an umbrella, right, Dunaway?
It would not. It would not.
Is Bobby right
Nothing
about
goes with
that?
an X and M.
I never thought Like a Prayer was about fellatio.
You know, I've never asked Madonna.
The video threw me off.
Yeah.
She's brunette in the video.
I like the song.
I mean, is that legitimate?
I don't know. I wouldn't put it past Madonna.
But I'm willing to listen to it this weekend.
It was just using Deadpool, where there was a lot of those jokes, so kind of tracks.
What is your favorite Madonna song? Mine was from the movie. God, it was so good with Christopher Walken and Sean Penn. It's based on a true story. Oh my gosh!
Music takes you back to a certain period in time. Borderline was playing my freshman orientation on the radio when me and this girl, she gave me a ride back to wherever we were staying, and we made out for a while with that song playing in the background.
playing?
Borderline.
Yeah. Oh, I did not like Borderline.
I go right back to that moment every time I hear Borderline.
Yeah, I do like a Prayer, since it has come up. That's probably my favorite Madonna song.
Yeah. I'm starting to like that a lot more now too, Brownie.
Jason is on fire today. At Close Range. Have you guys ever seen it?
Nope.
Oh, it's really good. And it's got Crispin Glover in it too. Chris Penn's in it. But it's based on a true story. And I forgot what the Madonna song is in it, but it's really good.
Live to Tell is
Live
what
to
everybody's
Tell.
saying.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a good song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dress You Up in My Love, Pritchelaw. That guy's funny, by the way, Pritchelaw. He gives me hell in the chat room too, but when he shows up at our events.
Yeah, he's one of the early ones.
He's a funny dude. Had readers on last night. Put on some readers to read the menu.
Age comes for all of us,
and
Jimmy.
I was like, man, you got readers on? And he goes, you don't wear glasses? And I do, but I try to take them off when we come back commercial breaks. He goes, I'll tell you this. I've got contacts with readers on, is what he says.
That's a lot. That's double dipping right there. Michelson was there.
Hey, 5 locations of Slice, Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevallo, Crestline Park, the newest location in Edgewood, created by the late Jeff Bajaya. His brothers, Jason and Chris, continue to celebrate his legacy. Stop in, get some pizza this weekend from the Soul Pie, the Bajaya Special, the Wing and a Prayer. You're going to absolutely love it. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
I was telling them, he was like, he buys his readers cheap. And I said, Maggie gets a bunch of them shipped to the house, and he was like, really? So they look like, these? And I was like, no, it looks like I'm covering Elton John songs. If you ever come by my house and I've got Maggie's readers on, they're all sorts of colors. Like it can be in red ones or bright blue ones with yellow arms on them. I just grab whatever's close by.
You need a little chain on them to go around your neck.
Where
like
are
a
your
librarian.
readers today? Where do you keep them?
They're right here.
Oh, okay.
These are not readers. These are progressive lenses where basically they're readers at the bottom and clear at the top.
Do you remember when Dunaway, he had that, I don't know, it was, you bought glasses in bulk, but it was like Russell Westbrook. You didn't, there was no lens to it.
No, when I first started doing a show with you guys, I did it to look smarter.
Yeah. It didn't work.
Yeah, Leon tried to prove that in Curb.
Yeah.
That's right, Lip.
All right, one more hour to go, or as we like to call it today on Fuhrman Days, 43 minutes or so left in the show. This hour brought to you by our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing. Got to see Greg from Pell City and a lot of his crew last night. Greg's lost some weight, man.
He has.
Climbing up on your roof, he'll do it, and he'll cut a little off that charge as well because he's a good family man, likes to take care of all of our listeners. 205-542-3531. 205-542-3531. Forster, at some point, he wants to put a picture him and his wife in the commercial.
Yeah, I love his boy Luke.
Yeah.
Oh, Luke.
Luke's a wild man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, Luke would be fun at the floor, man.
Well, I asked Luke.
He would be.
Luke was talking about his dad
I don't know if he could get in, but
Luke was talking about his dad losing some weight, and I said, you probably just taking that shirt off up there, aren't you, Greg? And Luke says he does occasionally if he has to make the sale, he says. Shows the gun show for the ladies.
Greg, and I never really realized that Greg was as big as he was.
Well, did you see the photo, the before and after?
Yeah, he
crazy.
showed me, but he said he's cut out alcohol and sugar, and he said sugar by far the more difficult one.
Yeah,
Which I bet.
You want to see how funny Greg is? He was making fun of me getting down with the shorts on last night. He said he'd have to check those pictures to make sure at my age nothing was hanging out. He sent me that picture this morning. The video of the sensor playing. Greg from Pell City, free no-cost roof inspection and all the great stuff he and his wife do there, locally owned. 205-542-3531, or just look him up on Facebook. It's Greg from Pell City.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
The World Wide Web is a large place. Find all your favorite people and content in the same spot. NextRoundLive.com is full of wonderful tidbits about the show you know and love. Find our gear, listen to your favorite personalities, follow our socials, and enjoy your trip to NextRoundLive.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them The Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Bright Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hey, you. School's coming back. Time to gear up. And at New Balance Birmingham, we know what's up. Before hitting the books, check out the looks. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
Maybe you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or TikTok. While we're changing the game yet again, Tyler's Telegrams has been developed exclusively for you.
Hi, this is the lovable boy you know as Tyler the Intern. I'm a businessman now. I will come directly to your door and tell you every time a new piece of TNR content drops. For the low, low price of $740,000, you can be notified by me, one of the biggest stars of The Next Round, about that thing you missed. Sure, the rest of those social media services are free, but so is radio, and we all know how well that's trending.
Tyler's Telegrams is currently operating exclusively in Bibb County. Other social media platforms are available everywhere.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
I got to see Sterling and the gang from down at Champy's Chicken last night, too. Sterling, his wife, Megan, Sterling and his wife, and then Megan, not his wife. Megan's been working there with him for like 10 years.
You know, and we were talking about her margarita last night, and she was ordering margaritas from walk-ons, and I was like, how do they compare to yours? And she's like, they're really good.
Oh, that's a compliment.
So good margaritas at Champy's, good margaritas at walk-ons.
Great food at Champy's, just great people down there. All the wonderful customer service that you get there, the great food and everything. Just go by and see them on Highway 119 in Alabaster, champyschicken.com. champyschicken.com. Southern fried chicken, great sides and everything else. Go check them out at champyschicken.com. Always great seeing those fine folks. Also by our friends at Hemp Hill Heating and Cooling. And maybe sometime we don't talk enough about the plumbing too. Always good to have Hemp Hill. They do heating, cooling, and plumbing as well.
Yep. Any of those issues arise in your home or business, make that phone call, 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
Rockstar's Floribama Lounge coming up a little bit later on. But as we get ready for a college football season, Rockstar, give me cut 8 and cut 9 here. Forster has jumped into some sound from down at Auburn yesterday. Cam Coleman, they're letting him do a little talking, man. The freshman, no freshman off limits here. Here's Cam Coleman. He's a big part of what the expectations are down at Auburn, a stud wide receiver. And as you would imagine, he's pretty pumped up to finally show Auburn fans what he can do.
We're 16 days away from your first college football game. Can you talk about it?
Man, it's crazy because like every time like I used to get recruited up here, I was just thinking about myself in the stadium, just like scoring touchdowns. But now 16 days away, it get me excited thinking about it. Like I'm excited. I'm excited to show my talent.
What do you want fans to see from you when they watch you play?
I want them to see how I can be a team player, like blocking down the field when I'm not getting the ball, really just setting up blocks, setting up double moves. It's really just I want them to see how I'm a team player.
Well, I love that attitude, man.
Yeah, and maybe I'm wrong here, maybe I'm off, but it's unorthodox for big programs, to let true freshmen really get on the mic this early.
That is correct.
But this is just my opinion. I think this is a great sign for Auburn because Hugh Freeze realizes this kid is going to be that good early on, and there's going to be a lot of requests for him.
You know, the vast majority of the programs that have that policy, and most of them do, is not related to the fact that they think a freshman will say something stupid.
Right.
Because seniors say things that are stupid. It's more based on the fact that there wants to be, the coaches want it to be the image that you earn the right to be a spokesperson for our team, right?
That's right.
You don't just come in and you're given the right to be the spokesperson for our team. So I would say the fact, to your point, that Cam Coleman is doing that speaks volumes to me about what this guy has done, just not even play-wise, but leadership-wise already.
Well, because you bring up seniority, and this is a weird question, do you think there'll ever be a day when a kid, I don't know why it would happen, but, hey, I'll sign with you, but I want to go to media days?
Hey.
I don't know.
It would be a weird look, but do you think a coach would actually, if it's a 5-star, like elite number one at that position, do you think a coach would be like, okay, yeah, sure, why not?
Would not be the most outrageous thing they get asked.
No, and I think any coach in the world, if it's a 5-star, would say you can go to all the media days, not just the next one.
By the way, probably the cheapest
Yes.
request they've gotten.
School's flying that plane either way, right?
Yeah, why not? Yeah. Why not? But here's what Cam and his other receivers are going to have to deal with: expectations. He talked about that a little bit.
Whether we live up to the hype or not, we're human at the end of the day. We might mess up on the field, but it's all a learning experience, so there's no pressure.
Do you feel like there's a lot of expectations on you guys? Can you feel that?
No, sir.
All right, you're just doing what you want to do.
Just having fun, playing the game. Whatever happens.
But there are expectations.
On him, yeah. I don't think there's the expectation for this team. And look, and this team could be sneaky good.
But all those receivers, we're counting on Auburn.
But
if they get to 8 or 9 or 10 wins, it's going to be because of those receivers.
But he's the head of the snake, right?
He is. And then attention-wise, Perry Thompson. Now, I'm not saying that's how they'll line up as far as receiving yards or targets or whatever goes. But I think for Auburn fans, you're right. He's the head of the snake, and then Perry Thompson's next. And then the transfers. And, I mean, there's more depth there than you've had in quite a while for sure, but it's unproven depth.
So here's my question off of playing those two sound bites, and Smooth gets to it. Who's getting him the ball? And I think Peyton Thorne's going to have a really, really good season because of the talent around him. Of the ranking of the SEC quarterbacks, who is going to be misplaced the most? Peyton Thorne too low, somebody too high? Who's going to be out of wherever you rank the SEC quarterbacks, who do you think when the season is done, we're going to be like, we missed on him? Either we put Brady Cook too high, maybe we put whoever too high, or maybe we put Peyton Thorne or somebody too low. Which quarterback in the SEC you think is going to be most out of whack? I think it's going to be Peyton Thorne by what Schmoo's saying there. Who's going to get him the ball? I think Peyton Thorne's going to look totally different.
Remember this last year when we were in Nashville for SEC Media Days, most people that ranked the quarterbacks had Graham Mertz 14th. And Graham Mertz, as bad as the season was, Graham Mertz played his ass off and played a lot better than anybody could expect.
4th in the conference in yards per game and had 20 touchdowns and 3 picks.
Yeah, I'm just saying if Peyton Thorne has those numbers, Graham Mertz's numbers,
well, here they
outstanding season.
Here they are. 73% completion percentage, 2,900 passing yards, 20 touchdowns, 3 picks. If Peyton Thorne gives you those numbers.
Yeah, and you're able to run the football effectively.
Auburn's probably a 9-win team at that point.
Yeah.
It's amazing Florida was that bad with him having those numbers, though. You know what I'm saying?
There are a lot of the high ceiling, low floor guys. Garrett Nussmeier.
I think he's the one that's most overvalued. I don't know where most people are valuing him, but I think at the end of the year.
But you yourself.
I myself say what?
You had LSU as we keep talking. I'm with you. When he says something good about LSU, I'm like, yeah, LSU's going to be good. LSU's going to be good. They can't be good with Garrett Nussmeier being down the list.
You want me to tell you who I think is going to be really good is Connor Wegman.
At A&M?
Mm-hmm.
You hinted at that yesterday.
Yep.
When you 5 games that wreck the college football playoffs.
We are watching Lance slowly fall in love with this team.
Oh, I am.
Yeah,
I mean, you think about it, in limited time last year, he completed 69% of his passes, 8 touchdowns, only 2 picks.
You know what's happened? He's always wanted to love Texas A&M,
but why can he not do it?
Jimbo Fisher kept him from doing that.
That's right.
Now
I think it's a weird fan base. I really don't care.
It is a weird fan base.
Shut up, LT. You know, one of those Saturday mornings, you're going to jump on our pregame show. You're going to have your white overalls on. You're going to be woo.
I think Mike Elko's a hell of a coach. I think he's an underrated coach. I love his attitude. He took the podium. Hey, 47 years old. I know I look like I'm 57.
Yeah,
he does not look 47, by the way.
He does not.
No, he doesn't. Those are coach years.
Alabama getting ready for another scrimmage. Rockstar cut number 4. LT has hinted at this too, and we all sort of agree with this, that there may be a chance Alabama has to outscore some people this year. Kane Womack, friend of the show, a guy we like a lot. He talked about what the defense did in the first scrimmage and what he's looking forward to in the second scrimmage and the rest of camp here. Here's Kane.
I thought early on, the offense did a really good job. We've challenged our guys to be able to respond early in games. That's hard for a defense because when you think about it, an offense is working all week long, right? They've got a game plan. They've got whatever they want to call it. Usually people call it their openers or their starters, right? And so they've got, their first 8 to 10 plays of the game that they really feel good about and honed in on. The challenge for a defense, but also an opportunity, is if we can limit them in the first drive of the game, right, it creates a little bit of doubt in their mind, the things that they've been working all week long. But I thought our offense did a really good job in that. I thought our defense responded immediately after. Thought our tackling was just okay. We're running to the ball probably as good as I've seen since we've been here. But I think overall, from a tackling standpoint, those are things that you got to get better at from scrimmage 1 to scrimmage 2.
Kirby Smart and Nick Saban were the first to ever explain that to me, because I didn't play the game, especially at that level, that the offense scripts those first 10 to 15 plays, and they would always start out base, so that they could get a read on what they had worked on, what they considered to be a place they could take advantage of. And you almost played, not prevent defense, but you almost played a little safety just to see, let's see what this team's been working on all week. Where do they think they can beat us?
So in other words, the offense shows you what they think is going to work that day, but the defense, we're not showing you what we think is going to work.
That's right.
We want to see what you think is going to work.
We're going to keep it a little vanilla,
and a lot of
what all the craziness you're going to throw at us here, and then we're going to react to that.
And I would say, I can't say this definitively, but I would say the vast majority of the times, if you did not take advantage of the first 2 possessions against a Nick Saban, Kirby Smart defense, you're down 35 at some point. You basically had to get them early. Now, if you got them early, like A&M, a great example of that was A&M in 2012, where they go right down the field 3 times. And Alabama defense eventually adjusted, but boy, they were on their heels a lot of that game.
If I ask you guys, and maybe this is a good poll question, who will the Alabama defense miss the most? Dallas Turner, Caleb Downs, or Terrion Arnold?
Terrion Arnold, because I think in the secondary, their concern is going to be corner more than safety. Now, Downs is an elite safety, obviously.
But who's going to be that edge guy?
But I think that's a question, but I think Malachi Moore at safety and Sab at safety, I think you're going to be fine at safety. I think the question mark becomes, how good are you at corner? Are you really, really young and inexperienced at corner?
But the way Roman, and again, I'll see it when I believe it, but the way Roman Harper explained on this show, Kane's defense is going to be more zone, less man-to-man, and we've been so used to under Kirby and Nick, you just line up your best 2 corners against their best 2 wide receivers, and our best against your best, and let's see how it all shakes out.
If they're in zone a lot, we're not going to get the why is that they're not looking back at the ball. We get that all the time.
Speaking of Alabama, the 2020 National Championship game is on right now, and
Justin
Fields is picking this defense apart. I know things go really bad.
I'll take Alabama, and I'll lay the points.
And I think it was when Trey Sermon got hurt. And I don't even remember, did they get in here at a 1st and goal?
They did right here.
That would be accurate. They did.
Yeah, but I just seen because you asked the question earlier this week, what is the most nostalgic thing you miss about old school college football?
Yeah.
In this one game, on the first 2 drives, I've seen the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in college football.
What's that?
Coaches wearing masks on the sidelines.
I forgot about that.
I mean, I cannot believe in 2020 the national championship. Look at this.
I know. It'll be always remember. Do you remember how Andy Reid had the shield that kept fogging up?
Yeah.
Do you remember that one?
Do you remember how Jeremy Pruitt looked like he was going to rob a bank?
Oh, yeah. He would wear.
Who actually made these people wear masks like that on the sideline?
NCAA, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had it on the Jeremy Pruitt had the one that was the head and the face, right?
Remember, this was the largest crowd of the season.
Yeah, they had expanded it by then.
And
but
there's
it's still
nobody there.
Yeah.
The game goes different from 7-7.
It does.
It's about to change.
But is it not a Trey Sermon injury that really flips everything?
There was a Trey Sermon injury, but they weren't stopped. He didn't.
Oh, Devontae Smith.
Was he guarding Devontae Smith?
No. Here's Jeremy Pruitt.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
It was like a character out of Dune.
Yeah. Jeremy Pruitt is about to become a butterfly. All right. Show being brought to you by our friends at Precision Sports Medicine. Trash and Rockstar's Lounge takes us into the weekend. Again, thank you to walk-ons. Thank you to the great folks who helped us kick off another year of football from last night. Roll through some of the pictures here. There's E.G. dressed to the nines last night. There's Greg and his beautiful wife from Storm Restoration Roofing. All the parties there. There's the Korn family picture there.
Are you in all these, Dunaway? Would you just stand there and make pictures? You running for president?
I'm in that one too.
Wow.
Yeah. Fine folks from Blakely's there.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's when the alcohol hit.
Yeah. Oh, there's the fine folks from the barnauburn.com.
That's right. Zach and Charlie 5.
Yeah. Oh, look, the beautiful Ush and Maddie.
Ush, the beautiful Ush.
Yeah.
First time that's been
a
uttered.
weird way to set that up.
Yep.
Yeah. And there's Precision Sports Medicine right there. Those fine folks. 205-512-3885, 512-3885, precisionsportsortho.com/2024. The tweaks, the pulls, the pains, and the breaks, they diagnose it, they treat it, they rehab. Locations in Jasper and Fultondale and Alabaster and all around the Birmingham metro area, they can take care of you. Orthopedic care, better together. Find your provider today. Again, that number, 205-512-3885, 512-3885, precisionsportsortho.com/2024.
Everything Alabama, all the time. Subscribe and set alerts at Roll Tide Pods on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken. If renting is putting a dent in your bank account, here's your sign from the universe that it's time to buy a new home. And who better to help you through the ins and outs of home buying than our friends at Mortgage Right. With Mortgage Right, you don't have to worry about becoming a short notice mortgage expert because they do all the heavy lifting for you. They're trusted mortgage professionals, and they'll help you choose the right mortgage option and stand by your side every step of the way. Visit mortgageright.com/TNR to buy before renting runs you dry. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender. For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
Hang out with the next round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the next round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. Are you tired of buying your CPAP mask and supplies online only to be disappointed? It's time to visit CPAP Plus, your locally owned and operated CPAP shop that prides itself on personal service. Come see what you're buying at CPAP Plus with 3 convenient locations in Pelham, Highway 280, and now open in Trustful. Drop by for a free CPAP checkup and free filters, no appointment needed. Plus, sign up for their giveaway for a chance to win a free travel CPAP machine. Just Google CPAP Plus or visit any of those 3 locations.
Forsher's going to show us UCLA's travel miles after you tell us about Dr. B. Absolutely amazing how they have signed up for this.
Well, what was the other option?
Yeah, they really didn't have another option.
Yes.
But you'll see when we show it after you tell us about Dr. B. It's their first out-of-conference game did not help at all. Tell us about Dr. B.
Again, doing a non-invasive treatment 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time on the couch. That is it. My hair is more than doubled in thickness. Got a lot of comments last night about the hair at the anniversary party. T3hair.net for more information. Dr. B pioneered the use of NeoGraft hair restoration in Alabama. He remains at the forefront of hair preservation in the Southeast. He takes pride treating each patient personally, applying his expertise to produce those quality results. My hair is more than doubled in thickness. Brown is working on his right now. Make the phone call that we made. Schedule the consultation today. 205-319-0316. That's 205-319-0316 or T3hair.net.
When you've got a big new East Coast Big Ten conference you joined, which one out of conference game do you not want to schedule? Hawaii. Here is the out of conference roll for UCLA. It includes 2,550 miles round trip to Hawaii. Now just think about how our map is, guys. 2,550 miles from LA to Hawaii round trip.
That's a haul.
Meanwhile, it's only 1,605 miles to Louisiana round trip to play LSU. 2,250 to play Penn State. Now that's in western Pennsylvania. Rutgers is in New Jersey.
I'm surprised Hawaii is further than East Piscataway.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. But look how Penn State and Rutgers travel miles there as the crow flies. When I look at a map, Pennsylvania, western Pennsylvania, where Happy Valley is.
I've never viewed it in western Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. Middle Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I don't care where. If it's outside of Philadelphia, it seems like it'd be more than that many miles away.
A couple 100 miles to Rutgers.
Yeah. Nebraska, and then their short trip, 1,000 miles up to Washington.
I would like to know the story behind their schedule, how they ended up going to Hawaii and LSU in the same year. That is weird scheduling for a Power 5 team to travel that much to two places. I mean, one out-of-conference road game for a Power 5 team or a neutral site.
Is UCLA getting paid like these?
I don't know.
These Sun Belt teams.
Is it like a guarantee game they're playing at LSU? I mean, they're money hungry. They're strapped for cash. So,
but I was just counting their games. They don't have that 13th game. There was a while when you scheduled Hawaii on the island. You got it for a 13th game.
I don't think they wanted it.
That's more money. We can't do it.
Bigger laws.
Yeah. Mr. B, Penn State's in the middle of nowhere.
I consider it more central Pennsylvania. But to your point, you would think it's more than 200 miles from Rutgers.
Yeah. Bobby says State College, middle of Pennsylvania there. Interesting. Recruiting for Hawaii, they bet. It says Volfan 205. UCLA gets some of the kids from Hawaii.
Players, yeah, maybe so.
Makes sense. Good call there. All right. Time for trash. It's brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right. Every day here on the show, we appreciate them so much for being with us for 3 full years as we start year number 4 today. Pretty amazing in itself. Part of it all the way from the round table days all the way to the next round has been trash with LT. Hit it, Rocky.
Now, if that's too much, 12 different appetizers to choose from. I'm a fried dickle pickle man. I'm a fried dill pickle man.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
Me too, Max.
Yes.
Me too.
It is buying season. Our friends at Mortgage Right here to help. Before you take the next steps on a home purchase or refinance, talk with the team at Mortgage Right. No cost or obligation to find out what you qualify for. You can get more information. Go to the website, mortgageright.com/TNR. You can always call 205-900-7200, NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender. I also forgot that Alabama had 2 4th downs inside the red zone that led to the first 14 points.
Like Lance is watching this game for the first time.
Slade Bolden, you thought he scored a touchdown on the first possession. You remember on the third down?
I do think the nose of the football broke the play.
Well, I had a friend that had him at like 55-1 to score the first touchdown.
Oh, wow.
Our buddy AB did.
I remember you saying that.
Bad beat right there.
It really is, because they should have just given him the touchdown.
I know.
Do you guys want to guess the price on the world's most expensive cigarette lighter? It's got 400 grams of solid gold, decorated with 152 sapphires. The Louis, is it the 13th, Rocky? Fleur de Parme is recognized as the world's most expensive lighter.
Wow.
That's pretty.
Well, you can't get that in a convenience store. What are they in the convenience store? Maybe like $2.99 for a Bic lighter?
For a Bic?
Or one of the cheap knockoff Bics at the register?
I think they used to be back when I smoked.
I've got those long lighters, like the grill lighters, fireplace lighters.
The Aim and Flame?
Yeah. 99 cents back when I would roll through and grab one.
You smoked?
I did not. Occasionally, I would have a cigarette late at night when all the girls would go outside to talk at the Blue Monkey.
No, remember yeah, Dunaway, if you're at a party when the women are in the kitchen, that's where you'll find Dunaway. But didn't you... So you kind of contradict yourself because you like girls because if girls smoke, they poke, right?
I did say that.
But then you also...
I don't like girls that smoke.
The girl at Blue Water, didn't you make her get away?
Yeah. Is that what it's called, Blue Water? Oh, we're in the Blue Water building. It's full circle.
We're in the Blue Lake building.
Oh, Blue Lake. Dang it.
I never went to Blue Water.
Hey, so...
I did. She started smoking. Yeah.
I'm going to say this is $758,000.
Oh, not bad, Brown. It is actually more expensive than a Ferrari. The price tag on this, it is acknowledged by the Guinness Book of World Records as the most expensive cigar lighter, commanding an eye-watering price of $500,000.
You see
This is when you just have FU money and it's just stupid.
But you see the right side of it, I think, is where you push it to make it light, right?
I don't know.
But I'll tell you this.
About midway down?
If I was a burglar and I went into somebody's house and that was on their mantle, I would walk past it.
Yeah.
Go into their sock drawer looking for cash.
Look at this urn.
I know. It's going to be tough to pass that off in pawn, too.
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah.
Hey, and do you think any pawn shop owner, our boy Chief, when he had Brett's pawn, He's got a holster on his shoulder, and you walk that in, he's got a cigarette in his mouth. What in the hell is this? I give you, I don't know. It looks fancy. I'll give you $40 for it.
I got to make money too, buddy.
So so when you owned a pawn shop back then, you could be holstered?
Oh, all the time.
Pistoli?
Bethany almost got shot. Bethany would work part-time there way back in the day. And I remember they had just pawned a gun or something, and it discharged. And was 2 feet away from her head, went right through the window.
Gonna have to charge you for the bullets now. I didn't know it was still loaded.
Hey, Chinese woman is asking $5,500 from a work colleague and accusing them of slapping her on the back using a kung fu technique that left her unable to work for 12 months. I don't believe this, Rocky.
Not kind.
When I read it, but
I think there's a little bit of an argument, yeah.
The woman, surnamed Zhang, recently told a television network that she was working as a security guard in Metro Station in the city last summer when a colleague ruined her life, according to this story, with a simple slap on the back. She was allegedly napping with her head on a desk during an afternoon break when a male colleague named Lou, they don't have a lot of different names out there, by the way, slapped her on the back to wake her up. Zhang recalls that she felt a sensation she could only compare to an electric shock before feeling her arms and neck go numb. She claims that a photo taken by another coworker clearly showed the mark of 5 fingers on her back. One thing is for sure, though, Zhang could not work for a year after the incident and now feels like Lou owes her financial compensation. Now, here's the rub, and you guys tell me how you feel about this. When Zhang started complaining after the slap on the back, Lou allegedly gave her $400 under the condition that she wouldn't take any legal action against him.
Oh, that's hush money is what we call that, Lance.
The woman agreed.
Okay.
But when her condition did not improve after a month, she went to the hospital where doctors told her that she had a protruding spinal disc, advised her to rest for a couple of weeks, ended up missing a whole year of work, and that's when she decided to try to get more compensation. You already reached the agreement.
Yeah, but also that seems to be an admission of guilt at that point.
Yep. I guarantee you what happened here. She went back to Lou and said, I'm going to out you for the agreement there unless you give me more. And he's like, I ain't giving you more. You're not going to go tell anybody.
That sounds just like Lou.
They were from South China.
Southern China.
Yeah, I would tell you this. At that point, I would call the authorities and say, I'm being blackmailed.
Yeah. Well, then they were like, actually, you're not. You paid the money.
Yeah.
You ever been blackmailed?
But she was wanting more.
You ever been blackmailed?
I have not yet.
Not yet. You're leaving the door open.
Anxiously waiting.
Have you?
No, I haven't.
You Rockstar?
No.
Did you see there's a breaking news today?
You ever blackmailed anybody?
Dude, I have not blackmailed anyone. There is breaking news today that that whole Graceland thing, you remember when Graceland was about to be foreclosed on?
Yeah. Was that blackmail?
Absolutely. The FBI is now...
yeah, that was.
They've made an arrest in the case.
I thought the breaking news today was Nick Cage is going to play John Madden. Have you guys seen this?
John Madden? The NFL coach?
I've always said he looks just like John Madden.
Boom!
I mean, is that a joke, though? Because that's out there because I saw Good Morning Football talking about it.
It's real, yeah. He's playing John Madden.
There is no way. Like, how much weight is he going to gain for this?
I guess he's a versatile actor. I don't know.
Can I ask why you don't just get Frank Caliendo? I mean, he is John Madden.
Right. True.
I mean, he does it better than John Madden.
But Frank Caliendo's like, you could cast him in like The Hobbit or something. He's a small little dude.
He's a small, big dude.
Yeah.
But and so is Tom Cruise. You can shoot it to look different.
I find that hard to believe.
I
was
agree.
the recent Nick Cage horror film, what was it called? Long Legs?
Long Legs.
Was it any good?
I avoided it like the plague, but most people said it was good. I feel like most of the crew that have seen it here thought it was overrated.
Okay.
Greg in the mybookie.ag promo code next round chat room says, can you hear the radio commercials over in China? Is that Big Lou? He's on number 3 too.
I hadn't heard one of those spots in a while.
Big Lou's on meds like you.
So I never had these cookies. I think Rockstar's a fan because I was told at a young age those are the expensive cookies. You can't have them. Famous Amos.
They told you those are the expensive ones, Rockstar?
That's what I was told as a kid. Wally Amos, a.k.a. Famous Amos, has died, unfortunately, at 88 in his home in Hawaii. I would have said this guy died 30 years ago.
By the way, the watermelon cowboy hat is fantastic.
I didn't even notice
The
it.
shirt made by kindergartners is just as cool.
What is?
The shirt made by kindergartners
it
is
is.
just as cool.
I bet we would like Famous Amos. I bet he was a fun hang.
How many of those cookies could you eat?
A lot.
Is there a story about Famous Amos where he would take
I'm
kids
gonna give
to
you
local schools?
I'm going to give you the backstory real quick. He launched the company in 1975 with a $25,000 loan, and in a bold move, opened his own shops to sell them. Now, this from the New York Times. At a time when flavorless, Preservative-packed cookies were the only thing available to consumers not blessed with a baker in the family. Mr. Amos's confection stood out. Derived from a recipe he learned from his aunt, they used real ingredients, no coloring, chemicals added, as he kept as close to handmade as possible, even as his company exploded into national distribution during the early 1980s. What began with a single store in L.A. that made $300,000 in revenue its first year, by 1981 was a $12 million company, about $42 million in today's currency, with dozens of famous Amos stores across the country and packaged products sold in grocery and specialty stores as well. Throughout the 1980s, Amos sold off pieces of the company before finally cashing out to a private equity firm for $3 million in 1988.
Oof, I bet that didn't get him to the finish line. There's a lot of people in the chat room, the mybookie.ag chat room, saying his appearance on The Office was epic. I never saw that episode where he was on The Office.
If it was later this season that I did not watch it.
Was it after Steve Carell had left the show, probably?
I don't remember it.
Did he play himself?
Yeah, because apparently he had the line in the show where he says, "Back when I was just a regular Amos," which is pretty funny. Someone said he was married 6 times, which if he was married 6 times, that $3 million in 1988 definitely did not get him to the finish line.
Yeah. Okay, here are the coolest signature weapons in movie history according to Ranker.com.
Okay.
Number 10 is Indiana Jones bullwhip.
That's only number 10? It's almost like the focus of the movie.
I think the problem is because 1981.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not. I mean,
it's like the bullwhip is like the main part of the movie.
Yeah, but I mean,
without the bullwhip.
I did like when the dude pulled out the sword, though, and instead of going whip, he just pulled out the
He
gun.
grabs for the whip. And just
I would say, though, Brownie, I don't know what the rest of the list is, but like the Ghostbusters had that.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot about this.
So was that the actual sound effect?
Yeah.
Number 9 is Men in Black's Noisy Cricket. The Noisy Cricket, small sidearm that packs a big punch.
Yep.
I would take the memory eraser more than that.
You know, I like that movie way more than I thought I was going to.
Oh, I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was okay.
Yeah. He and Tommy Lee Jones, they played well off each other.
This next one's a good movie. I know you don't like Tarantino. Kill Bill's Hattori Sword.
I remember always knowing when Kill Bill was on TV back when we worked on radio, but I have never seen the movies, Lance.
What's her name again?
Uma Thurman.
I'm having a bad day remembering
She's got
names.
very big hands.
Interesting.
I've never noticed her hands. I always thought she was very attractive.
I was indifferent. I think she's okay.
Steffi grabbed
Lunceford, did I get a nod from Lunceford? Do you agree, Lunceford? Finally. At least I didn't stump the whole panel with good looking. It wasn't Steffi Graf for a moment.
Yes.
Number 7 on the list, again, the coolest signature weapons in movie history, according to Ranker.com, Gandalf's staff.
What did he do with it?
Part of the Red Sea.
That's Moses.
Oh, sorry.
Yep.
What do you think King Joffrey would have done with that thing? Number 6 is Harry Potter's wand.
I haven't seen those yet.
I haven't either.
Your daughter tells me that I should watch it. EG recommends around the holiday season.
Yeah, EG and my youngest daughter, watch the Harry Potter movies together. EG will come over to the house and they'll go down and watch a Harry Potter movie.
Really?
Yeah. EG's a big Harry Potter person, so is my daughter. I don't know much about what old Daniel Radcliffe does with that wand, but I think he does a lot with it. Never seen one of the movies.
Number 5 is Monty Python's Holy Hand Grenade.
I don't remember. I was stoned, but we used to watch those a lot back in my collegiate days.
Did you get into Famous Amos after that?
We'd eat the.
I bet at 3 a.m. I could knock that whole tray out.
Last night I sent a picture to Maddie because I did not eat one bite of food. Since
I didn't
Brad and
either. I got up in the middle of the night and had New York Butcher's goat cheese, mashed potatoes, and mac and cheese.
It's quite a midnight snack.
Well, I just know she always is making you clean and healthy stuff. And I sent her a picture of me putting mayonnaise on 2 pieces of white bread, tomato turkey sandwich, and some sour cream and onion chips. It had to be like midnight.
Oh, I had a bowl of cereal. Y'all were way better than me.
I tried to convince you to go to Waffle House.
Yeah, you did. I was exhausted.
Coolest signature weapons in movie history, according to Ranker.com. Number 4, Captain America's shield.
Huh.
Made of vibranium.
Is that a weapon, though?
Near indestructible metal. Largely procured from Wakanda.
Don't you just block bullets with it?
No, I think you can also throw it like a frisbee and it cuts people.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it cooks you dinner. Go, Lunceford, come on.
I mean, he doesn't cut people with it. Captain Carter got cut in half in Doctor Strange. That's a whole different story.
Yeah,
but
we don't want to get into that.
But he does take it and like throws it like a discus almost.
And it like knocks you out or something?
Yeah.
Number 3 is the Alien M41A Pulse rifle.
The Is that the M41A Lance? Not the B,
is,
right?
it is.
Okay, the B model, I think, they took those off.
This one does have a silencer.
Yeah, okay, good. Yes.
Really doesn't if you listen to the movies. Very loud. Number 2 is Thor's hammer.
Yeah.
Oh.
And number 1, no surprise, is the lightsaber.
Yeah.
Oh, the lightsaber.
How about the Ghostbuster guns? Weren't even top 10,
Not even in honorable mention.
It's like a flight machine.
Didn't they shoot the marshmallow guy with this?
Yeah, they had, but you couldn't cross the streams.
So we end more vintage ads to gaze upon, and I think Rockstar's got these for us.
All right.
Okay, I like old ads. I do this all the time. I go back and watch old college football games, and I prefer the ones with the commercials.
Mr. Lunceford's desk.
Yeah, I mean, that is a massive television, but I like that we've got is that the turntable next to it?
No, that is
a Betamax.
Yeah.
Betamax.
What do you think the price point
movies.
on that was in 1978?
Oh, I bet that right there. What year? 78? I bet that was $2,999.
So I went to move Leighton watch them move Leighton into her, just being honest, new place downtown, these condos downtown, really cool place. But there was a dude holding a TV above his head, like one of the students getting on the elevator. And I was like, you have no idea how lucky you've got it. Like our TVs, I'm such an old man. Our TVs were so heavy back in the day. I literally remember getting one of those 36-inch Sony boxes.
$2,500.
That was close. That's not a bad deal.
That's really not a bad deal.
$2,500.
Now, but $2,500 in 1978 is what, 10 grand now?
I mean, the car commercials for when I watch the games from back then are like, get you a brand new Lincoln blah, blah, blah for $4,999.
Yeah, that was top of the line.
Long Lewis.
Looks like Judge Reinhold's endorsing it.
Yeah. I will tell you, though,
he looks like the dude that got tossed in Ozark in the first scene.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Lost his shoes,
Yeah,
didn't he?
he did.
Badly.
He hit hard.
Just since Brown and I have been together in our professional careers.
Yes. Thank you, Rockstar.
He helped me move into mine and Maggie's first house. My first wasn't a flat screen, but
it was heavy as crap. It wasn't a box TV, but it was one of the big square TVs, not a flat screen, and it barely fit in the cutout for the what would you go armoire or whatever.
Yeah.
And as we were sliding it in, we ripped off the magnets where the doors would close. Yeah. And look at Vision.
Haunted us for years.
Maggie going in there and trying to close the door and it never stayed closed.
Haunted us for years.
What happened? I don't know.
Yeah.
TWA introduces foreign accent flights inside the USA.
Wow.
That's sort of a fantasy.
It was good to be a stewardess back then.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So
they weren't exploited at all, were they?
She'd put that kimono on and walk down and do a Japanese accent.
Sweet cheeks. Give me that Japanese accent again.
What is this, Rex Joey?
He used to be a hippie. Now he's.
He used to be homeless.
He got hip.
Now he got a job.
Because he went to William Berry.
From our friends at William Barr.
Berry.
Outerwear for guys who are
into something.
Into something.
Clothes.
No, the dude looks like an old-time explorer.
He really does.
He was a hippie.
Yeah.
Joe and I used to tie your pants up at the bottom. I used to do that all the time.
Tuck and roll.
And
the man's mink jacket. I love it.
If you've never,
Frank Lucas should have never worn the chinchilla to the fight.
If you've never owned a mink, you've never felt like this.
And of course, he's getting off a helicopter.
Do people buy minks anymore?
I don't think so, but there is a fur place on Highway 31.
Yeah, Hennig.
Yeah, that I was surprised was still in business.
Yeah, I didn't know furs was that big a deal anymore.
Yeah.
This one's a blast from the past that I remember from the 80s. It was a great time.
Colored toilet tissue?
I don't remember this. I remember colored marshmallows.
Why did you need colored toilet tissue? I think white
so your bathroom would pop? Why not?
I guess you could match your bathrooms, but that doesn't look good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the top left, you got mint chocolate chip when you wipe your ass.
Yeah. Does not taste the same.
If you do the upper left, how do you know you have a stomach virus?
And then finally...
Damn.
Oh, she's taking it.
That's some Madonna aggression right there.
That white shirt, man.
So he's wearing that shirt. She's just going to drag him on in.
He didn't have a chance.
He ain't fighting, is he?
Yeah. He's got those arms crossed and a smile on his face. Yeah. I'd buy a whole closet full. was him.
Could you imagine that ad today? What kind of...
that club could do some damage.
Yeah.
Why do we really get so sensitive? I mean, we could have so much fun still.
Man, has it had a chance?
Back when life was fun.
Just going to beat him over the head with that club, drag him in the bedroom.
All right, that is trash.
Don't throw me in the briar patch.
That is Trash Today, brought to you by our friends at Mortgage.
If you're looking for a new home, our friends at Mortgage Right here to help, whether you're a first-time buyer or a seasoned home buying veteran. Their great service, low rates make the process easy. Speaking of veterans, veteran founded right here in Birmingham. So remember, whether you're looking for your final home, your first home, whether you have a big down payment or need 100% financing, Mortgage Right is one-stop shop for mortgages, 205-900-7200 or mortgageright.com.
All right, when we come back, is this the last one? Or is there one more next week?
I have no idea.
We'll do one more next week. I mean, we'll be at the Bama, but Rockstar could do it right here in the studio.
Okay, so one more next week. Floor Bama Lounge. And Rockstar sings us into the weekend. That's coming up next on TNR. Brought to you today, Rockstar, by our friends at Champy's. World famous fried chicken, champy'schicken.com, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Thompson games are about to crank up. Visiting teams, Thompson players, great for your Friday night tailgates. Also, if you're going to the games on Saturday, great. If you're going home to watch the games, great. Wonderful Southern fried chicken, Mississippi Delta tamale, and so much more. champy'schicken.com.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Excitement awaits at Barber Motorsports Park for the Fanatec GT World Challenge America, September 6th through the 8th. It's a high-octane weekend you won't want to miss. Witness some of the most iconic sports cars like Lamborghini, McLaren, Porsche, and Ferrari battling it out on the track. Enjoy the beer gardens, kids zone, and don't forget to bring your dog for bark at the park on Saturday. The Fanatec GT World Challenge America, September 6th through the 8th. Kids 15 and under get in free. Get your tickets today.
Buying that perfect home is one of the most important financial decisions you'll ever make, so it's crucial that you have the right partner to help you through the process. Hi, I'm Lisa Zeig, Vice President Mortgage Loan Officer for Bryant Bank, and I'm here to tell you that we are that partner, making it easy to buy with confidence. We offer a variety of mortgage products to fit your unique home buying situation. That kind of hassle-free approach might not be what you'd expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give me a call today or visit one of our 18 offices across the state of Alabama and let me show you what banking beyond expectation is all about.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
I'm here with my good friend Jon Lunceford of Lunceford Furniture to tell you about special values on some super comfortable seating. What you got, John?
Lance, every year we stock up on great comfort items like Lazy Boy recliners and sofas so that our customers can be ready for fall and football. This year is no different. We've made special purchases that will deliver great value to Next Round listeners and give them the most comfortable seat in the house. And as always, we've got the best prices in the state on Lazy Boy and the best selection anywhere.
That's awesome. We all know from years of shopping with you guys that Lunceford Furniture is the home for Lazy Boy value.
We continue on the next round. Week 0 is next Saturday. Don't forget our 3 guarantees. We do that every year. Fuhrman will give us his guarantees next Friday. You can go ahead and get all those ready. We'll be live at the Floribama next Friday for the annual 3 guarantee show, just like we did last year. But Rockstar plays us all the way up to college football season. So this is the penultimate performance from Rockstar.
I never can remember that word.
Penultimate?
Yep.
It's easier to say next to last, but I like to sound smart since I went to Jacksonville State. People expect that of me.
Penultimate?
Say it in Spanish.
Penultimate.
That's not offensive at all.
Hey, did you guys realize this is a big weekend at the Floribama?
This one upcoming?
Well, yeah, I mean, next weekend's going to be big because we'll be there, but this one's big because they're celebrating their 60th anniversary. Wow. I am still blown away with some people that don't know what the Floribama is.
We celebrated 3, so this starts year 4. They're celebrating 60.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not going to see our 60th.
Hey, how about this, though? Sunday, that is the 18th, right?
Yes. Yeah.
From 1 to 5. First drink is on the house.
Wow. Look out.
So anybody in the
if a
world
million people show up,
first
you
drink's
get
on the
a
house.
million drinks. Yeah, they've got live music, birthday cake, and first drink is on the house. Performances by some of Rockstar's favorites, Lucky Dogs, the Jason Justice Duo. There's just a slew of bands. Big celebration. 60 years. Make sure you join them this Sunday. Must be 21 plus to receive that drink card. Don't miss out on this great special event. For more information, floribama.com.
Okay, we're going to slide a little past 12 noon at the top of the hour here. With Rockstar in the Lounge for the Floribama. Jace, I have said this forever. I've always wanted with Rockstar's Lounge to do like the X Lounge back in the day. We just throw all of our songs on a CD and sell it out of somebody's trunk until we got caught.
First one.
Yeah, I don't think it'd take long for us to get caught.
You don't think so?
Nope.
Yeah. How did the X Lounge do it back then?
The artist gave some kind of rights because they came there in town for a concert that night.
Yeah, I think they had a license.
Yeah, and by the way, there was like no monitoring back in the day. You know, we were talking to our friend Tommy Spina, and he said that when you are put on hold now, you hear him singing the music because, was it ASCAP got his?
Yeah, he got shut down. Did you know that, Rockstar?
No, but they can still get you singing the music too if they want to.
Yeah, with Rockstar.
I don't think your guitar is on Rockstar.
It's not.
Okay.
I was waiting.
All right.
Rockstar's in the Floribama Lounge. What song are you going to give us today?
I don't know if I've ever done this before. I was telling Forrester, I listened to it last night.
Def Leppard.
Great intro. Great band name, Bush. And this is Come Down, if you guys remember that song.
Yeah.
This is a little stripped down version of that.
I can't wait till Bobby tells us what this song's about.
I think you were at the show, Rocky. It was, I don't know, it's 4 or 5 years ago, but it was Stone Temple Pilots, Bush, and the Cult. And I was more excited about the Cult. I like all 3, but I thought Bush, I thought they outperformed everybody in the rain. I thought they were great.
Gavin's got an interesting voice. Got a good relationship with Gwen.
Love Glycerine or Kiss Her Ring, however you sing
Kiss
that
Her
one. And love this one as well. Let's do it, man.
Love and hate, get it wrong. She cut me right back down the size. Sleep the day, you let it fade. Who was there to take your place? No one knows, never will. Mostly me, but mostly you. Do you say, do you do, when it all comes down? 'Cause I don't wanna come back down from this cloud. It's taken me all this time to find out what I need. I'll never find out. There is no blame, only shame. When you beg, you just complain. The more I try, more I go. All police are paranoid. So am I, so's the future. So are you, to be a creature. Do you say, do you do, when it all comes down? 'Cause I don't wanna come back down from this cloud. It's taken me all this time to find out what I need. 'Cause I don't wanna come back down from this cloud. It's taken me all this time. I'll never find out. Shoot up, shoot up, shoot up your love and hate and get it wrong. She cut me right back down the side. Sleep through the day, you let it fade. Who was there to take your place? No one knows, never will. Mostly me, but mostly you. Do you say, do ya do? When it all comes down. 'Cause I don't wanna come back down from this cloud. It's taken me all this time to find out what I need. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't wanna come back down from this cloud. It's taken me all this time. Ooh. What do you calm down, calm down.
Very
Man,
nice. Very nice.
How have you never played that before?
Yeah.
Kind of missed that one chorus.
That
I
is,
didn't notice. You screwed
I
up.
missed one chord.
That is
That's all right.
freaking awesome, man.
I don't know.
Kiss a ring.
Love that song. Love that song. I think I was mesmerized by a girl named Dina when that came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Never dated a Dina before or after that. Yeah. Anybody dated a Dina?
I have not, Jim.
I've got a good friend named Dina.
Yeah.
Alice in Wonderland's cat was Dinah.
Dinah? Interesting. Do you do glycerine too?
I don't even.
I mean, I'm just asking. Do you do that in your when you're like in the VIP lounge earlier this week out at Oak Mountain Amphitheater?
Kiss a ring.
That's what I always miss.
Do you do any Neil
Kiss a
Diamond?
ring. I used to know Sweet Caroline. I've never played. I do it with Black Jacket.
Can you believe Metallica at the Boston show played Sweet Caroline?
I really cannot.
Oh.
That seems so beneath them.
But was it a?
I didn't see the performance. I just saw the set list.
Metallica sounding version of it.
Sweet Caroline. Sweet Caroline.
All right, that's our show today,
What
man.
if when they came to Birmingham, did Dixieland Delight?
Oh my gosh! I mean, that would be better than Sweet Caroline to me.
It would
push him through the wall?
I just want to remind you real quick, Floribama. Join us as we celebrate 60 years. 60th anniversary party is coming up this Sunday, August 18th. First drink is on them. Must be 21 plus to receive that free drink card. Live music, birthday cake, and much more this Sunday at the Old Bama. And we'll be there next weekend. For more information, floribama.com.
Eviscerate Auburn and LSU too.
Eviscerate.
James, is that you?
Eviscerate's pretty good.
All right. I'll end on a high note then. We're back on Monday at 9 a.m. Central Time. Thank you again for last night, everybody that comes out. Every year, I don't think anybody's going to show up. Maybe the biggest crowd yet last night.
That is so you.
Blows me away.
Yep.
Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.